Hey, Cindy Bree. Hello. I started up just a little bit early today. We're going to join up with some folks. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. Thank you, Cindy Bree. Appreciate you coming in. Good to see you. Edgar, thank you for stopping through. Haley Beth, how are you, my friend? Good to see you, Haley Beth. Are you able to hear me? Haley Beth is my sound check. Oh, thank you, Haley Beth. Are you folks able to hear me out there? Friend painting at Tiffany's. Okay, well,
Oh,
painting, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm a little anxious, so since you're here, I'm going to go ahead and.
All right, everybody come over here.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Got that
I
last
really
minute running
appreciate.
around done, and can you hear me
Nice.
okay?
I can. I can.
All
Hey
right.
there, music.
Hello,
Thank you.
Nathan. Welcome. Nathan is new to our art community.
Right
Um,
on. I believe
I
I'm
met him
following
this
Nathan.
morning briefly. Didn't really have a chance to talk yet, but we're going to be switching back and forth if you want to, or everybody else can switch back and forth between the two lives. Make sure you follow everybody.
Yes, yes. Thank y'all for stopping in, everybody. This is Painting at Tiffany's on my screen. She may be over there on your screen. And you're welcome to jump back and forth between these. And when we get done talking smack, we're going to let ChadRevArt join us. And today, ChadRevArt is going to be our special featured guest. And today, the lovely and talented and brilliant and amazing Tiffany is going to be the co-host. So this will probably be the last day I'll be doing the show because it will probably be called the Painting at Tiffany show from now on.
I don't know about all that.
This might be the biggest mistake I've ever made. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for
You're
coming to
very
do
welcome.
this
Thank
and
you for
putting up with
having me.
me. Absolutely. So we're gonna reach out there. I don't see. Let's see here. Um,
Hi, everybody coming in. I appreciate you.
See if we can find Chad out there in the world.
Oh, is he?
So, so we're gonna send him an invite and see what happens. Um,
Is he out there yet? I don't
I'm
see him.
supposed
We're
to
gonna
adjust
accept.
my camera. I'm as much in the camera as I could possibly be.
Oh,
I'm
he's
gonna have to
not
crawl
quite
Hold
up.
on,
ready
ladies and
yet.
gentlemen. Just a
Okay,
short
no
wormhole.
worries. So we have a whole bunch of stuff to cover today, which is pretty cool,
Welcome
I
in,
think.
MK.
We're gonna obviously do the interview with Chad. Tiffany's gonna help me with that. But today's show is gonna be there's a whole lot of information that we have coming out. Different people doing different things. Again, projects involved in a lot of stuff. This is my one show a week to tell you about it. So that's what we're gonna do. uh, so thanks everybody for coming in. Good to see you, MK. Good to see you, MCT Forever.
Hey,
There's
hey,
Chad
Kat, what's
Revart,
going
ladies
on,
and
girl?
gentlemen.
How are
Here
you?
he is.
BLT. Hola.
Yo, the man of the hour. I can
How
see
are
from
you,
your
ladies and
eyes
gentlemen?
down, Chad.
I'm
I got
sorry?
you. I got you from the eyes down, buddy.
Oh,
Just
weird,
to get.
because I got like a full view over here, like all the way past the end of my girl. What about now?
Yeah. Right now, I
That
got
any
you from
better?
the nose down.
Down?
Yeah, like the top of your head is missing. There you go. Now we can
That
see
any
part of
better?
your hair. Yes. Yeah, we just want to see
Hey,
that
hey,
face,
hey.
man. We want the full Monty, bro. We
Well,
want
I'm
the
having to
full Monty.
having to make a full adjustment. Are we good there?
Yes. What do you think, Tiffany? That better?
Beauty.
Tiffany's in. Yes,
Sorry, my lights are
absolutely.
in the background and stuff now. But yeah,
No worries, man. You're good. We
that'll
want
help
to
a
see
little.
you.
Cool.
So, just to start out of the gates, right out of the gates, we do these co-hosted live so that people can jump around in between the various ones. And please feel free to run over to Chad's live and love on Chad because tonight's about him. And if you happen to get in the box that he's in, and we're not going to do the interview for a little while, it's going to be 30, 45 minutes, something like that. But if you happen to get in his box, then he will be the person in the big screen for you. So there's the public service announcement. Chad, thank you for taking the time to be a part of the Gin Project show, man. We really appreciate you coming in. Man, it's been so long since I've seen you.
I know, right?
I think
Oh,
we
man.
both want to. I think we both want to thank Painting for being here and doing the
Yes,
co-host.
thank you.
I'm afraid that she may be about to take my job on both shows.
Thank you, Lily.
Hello,
Yeah, you're
Natasha.
taking my job?
Took her jobs.
You took her yours.
It took her jobs.
you,
Enigma,
Lily.
good
Hi.
to see
Sorry, my
you.
dogs are being obnoxious.
Art for Autism, good to see you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for coming
Wonderful.
through.
Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. Hi,
I'm going to try
Sophie.
shutting this
Sorry
light
about
off
earlier. I
behind
had
me and
to
see if it's not so
reset.
blinding.
Okay, do your thing, man. No worries. We have plenty of time. There's no worries. Yeah, it'd definitely be better if they were. Sorry about that, man. I don't know what the deal is, but
It's just the way it's cutting up the screens for everybody. No biggie. There we go. Is that light out of it now?
yes,
There we go.
yes.
There we go.
So,
Jeremy to love it. I love your face too. Welcome to the Gin
what's up,
Project
Rocky?
show.
How's it going, Rocky? How's it going, Art for Autism? Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for stopping in. We have Painting at Tiffany's today as a special co-host. ChadRevArt is the person we're actually going to be interviewing, but since he's part of the show, we gotta have him in here too. So I guess it's all right. He can hang out for a little while. So
I'm in.
Chad, there's a whole bunch of stuff we've been involved in that we can't even talk about yet, but there is a
Hi,
whole
Spurs.
bunch of stuff that we can talk about. So one of the things that I would like to talk about first is Theory of Radio, our dear friends
Sure.
at Theory of Radio. They are not here in the moment, but on Monday night they have something called Inspiration with Theory. The host is LP, the lyrical poet, and Emma. And then on Tuesday night, they have the Fire Pit, who is hosted by Mike Carter, who is going to be our guest on the show next week. Mike and I are supposed to be getting together and doing something where one show goes back to back with the other show. So
Nice.
we're gonna try to
Sounds
figure
good.
that out. Hey, Crimson Rose. Hey, Eric the Airbrush Artist, my brother. Good to see y'all. And on Wednesdays, of course, is the Gin Project show. You can catch edited clips that shrink down the show into 30 minutes, mostly containing the interviews, and that is on Wednesday nights on Theory of Radio. On Fridays, you have Theory of Poetry, which is hosted by Italo. And on Saturdays, you have the Top 10, which is hosted by Seb. So it's absolutely free. You can download the app. They support indie artists. There's all different kinds of music on there. They support people like us. So I believe in them. They're a good bunch of dudes. I've got to work with them quite a bit here lately. So thank you so much, Spurs. Good to see you. So please consider downloading that Theoria app and becoming a member of their team. And then you can. It's really easy to do. Doesn't cost you a thing, and it's a good way to support the local artist community.
And they have us in Gindication.
Yeah, yes. So we've got Cat Art, we've got Spurs, we've got Eric the Airbrush Artist, we've got Rocky Robertson, we got Lily in here, we've got Natasha in here, whose art is right behind me. Art for Autism, amazing organization. We had some of those folks on a couple weeks ago. Enigma, our dear friend, is in here. Crimson Rose, some more art behind me. Crimson Rose is in here. So y'all, please make sure to support each other. Thank y'all so much for supporting each other and for supporting us. We really appreciate it. Which brings me to a few other folks that I would like to. Hey, did you want to say anything about Theoria, co-host?
I love the
Guys.
app, and it's really easy to use.
Right
I'm co-host
on.
today, right? It's me.
You're co-host
That's
today. Yes,
you,
ma'am.
yeah.
The app is amazing. It's really easy to use, and I have been listening to it in the evenings while I make dinner and stuff sometimes. Yep.
Right on. There you go.
We can also
So,
watch the shows on YouTube too. Just saying, there's where you can watch the whole thing.
yes, yes. If you would like to catch any of the interviews, well, not any of them. There's there's a few of them that got lost in translation, and I could not download. But the vast majority of them are over on the user tubesers, and you can catch them in their entirety. There's even a flow state over there that you could watch in its entirety if you wanted to do any investigating. So, if you wanted to check out what that might be all about, you can find it right there. So, there's also this guy named Eric, the airbrush artist, this dear friend of ours. He jumped out of an airplane recently and landed in a parking lot, and he bruised himself up a little bit. So
It's not the
we
story
want
you're
to.
going with.
That's
that a
what we're
true
going to go with.
Eric,
Tiffany,
don't be jumping out of
Tiffany,
airplanes.
Tiffany, can you back me up on that story?
Of course, that's exactly what happened.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Eric,
He was saving the
Eric-
world, actually.
Eric,
That's
why
Eric
I
was
left out.
jumping out of. He was jumping out of an airplane. His cape, unfortunately, was not in the airplane with him, so he jumped out anyway to save the day. But he has some amazing apparel that you can get that has his. I'm saving up right now to get me one, but he has you can get some logo stuff on it, and I'm going to talk for a minute because I bet the co-host is going to come back with something like this. But our good friend Eric the airbrush artist has apparel and things like that available. All you have to do is DM him, and he can make it happen for you. You may give him a few days to recover from jumping out of the airplane and landing in the parking lot, but I'm sure he'll get on that as soon as he's able to. Here is some of the work right here. So feel free to jump over into Tiffany's box over there. Wait a minute, I got to figure out it. Feel free to jump over into Tiffany's space over there, and you get a bigger picture of Eric the airbrush artist. Pull over. Amazing. Killer. I love it. Thank you. So
It
if you
is
would like
so
to
soft and comfortable, and I think everybody should have one. I love it.
the best advertisement ever. It's so soft. And
I lived in it
comfortable,
for
and I
like a
think-
week straight when I was sick. It's so comfy.
Yes, Furs, it was a Michael's parking lot and there were canvases on sale. That was the emergency. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Furs is also a comedian. I love it. So Eric the airbrush artist, our dear friend, has shirts available. There was also a dear friend of ours that has shirts available, Dead Making Art. You may have seen me with that shirt. Unfortunately, I don't have it within reach right now.
I haven't seen
But
that yet.
I do have one. It's purple and it's got a green cool guy on it. My wife wears it, which is why I don't have it right now. So I'm
That's
gonna
just how
have
that
to
goes
order.
sometimes.
I'm gonna have to order another one
Yep.
for me. So Dead Making Art. She makes some amazing videos. She does some really cool stuff. You might catch her on in the middle of the night, but don't look directly at her, or she will disappear. She is.
I love
she
her
is
so
an,
much.
She is
She's
an
so
apparition, and we love her dearly. And she is
Magical
another one of
being.
those. Yes, she is a magical being. She creates magical beings. So you can find the Dead Making Art T-shirts if you go to her page. If you go to Dead Making Art, or the artist is dead, or just type in "dead" into TikTok, and it'll get you to her because they know who she is because she's awesome. So go on over there, get and get you one of them there T-shirts from Dead Making Art because she's an amazing human being. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming through. Barbara Jean, I know I've missed some people getting shout outs. Appreciate y'all being here. Anything to say on Dead Making Art? Tiffany, another question to you. Should we let Chad talk at all, or how do you think we should
For
do
sure.
this?
I think he's allowed to talk.
Okay, cool. All
I'll
right.
allow it.
All right, you got a reprieve, Chad, because I was going to go with whatever she said
I'm
because
not taking his job all the way.
she's kind of the
Thanks,
boss
Tiffany.
now, and I just want to do what I'm supposed to because I would like to keep being able to do the woodworkings
I can
and
see you blinking a little too hard there, Ken.
I'm not under any pressure at all. So, Dead Making Art. What do you think about Dead Making Art, ChadRevArt?
She's one of my favorite people on this platform, if not in
Me,
general, globally, outside of this platform.
me
She
too.
is art, making art about her art, and she lets you check it out. It's her world. We just live in
That's
it.
my favorite part is we just get to look at it and she takes us along for the ride.
It's
That's
a
great.
journey. It is so
Yep.
dope. It is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I definitely would hope that folks would remember to try to support Eric the Airbrush Artist. Please try to support Dead Making Art. Um, there's also some other folks out there. Tomorrow, I have a collab going with Lady Shines. She has adopted me. I have the paperwork. It's been in for several weeks now. I have witnesses. I got it notarized.
She did.
But she picked a bench that I built that touched her. It was made with some antique end pieces that I restored, and then I made the slats out of an old, not an old, yeah, it was really old, but an oak tree that I milled several years back. And I used some pieces from a table that I built to actually make those slats. So she wrote a poem about that. And there's an event
Wow.
tomorrow night um, um, where she has other artists paired up with poets, and that event is tomorrow night, Wednesday. It's at 9:30 Eastern time. I'm sorry, it's at 9:30 um, Eastern, and it's at 7:30 Mountain time, if I'm not mistaken. And we may even interrupt the ChadRevArt interview if they come in to revisit that, so we can make sure to hit that again. Um, Also, I can announce that today, Tiffany saw this happen, and Davino, the voice of God, came in a live that we were in. And apparently, not apparently, but I am. I'm just not exactly sure what I'm doing. I think I'm writing a poem and potentially
That's what it
building a
sounded like
piece,
to me.
or he may be doing some drawing and I do the poem. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to be doing
Yep.
some poetry, and I'm going to be teamed up with Davino, the voice of
Another
God, which
that
is an
sounds like a
amazing,
magical
what an
collaboration.
Wait, what?
opportunity, what an amazing
Yes.
opportunity. Yes.
You're going to write poetry?
Other
Well,
artsy stuff.
it seems like that I have written some, believe it or not, over the years, and I've just never shown it to anyone. The only person I've ever shown my poetry is my wife.
I've heard rumors of
Sure
it
you don't want
from
to
you.
keep it that way?
And I'm not a very, and I'm not a good poet, and I hadn't written in a lot of years because I do the woodworking
I'm just
thing
playing.
now. It kind of replace, you know what I mean?
I think that's gonna be awesome.
I'm lagging
So
really
yeah.
bad over here, I'm being told.
Oh
That's
Is
no
it
man.
fine
good.
to me?
Hi Debbie, good to
So far,
see
so
you.
Hey,
Davino,
Eric, the
yes,
airbrush
Davino with
artist.
the deep voice, no cap, for real, that guy. Yes. So
My,
I will be doing a
it is
collaboration
lagging.
with Davino
Okay.
coming soon. There'll be more information on that. Um,
Hey, do the show for a minute. I'm going to bounce out and come back in. Everybody's saying I'm lagging really bad.
okay,
All
buddy.
right, sounds
Okay,
good.
we'll be
I'll be
here
back.
for you. It's about you today, bro. We'll talk smack about you while you're gone.
Please do.
And when you get back.
I'll
And
be
when
right
you
back.
get back. And when you get back. Hey, SA Artistries.
I'll be right back.
There's
SA, I'll be
there's
back.
our
Don't you talk
sister.
about making my goats into tacos.
I told my
Yes,
husband
yes.
about Chad's goats, and the first thing he said was, "Are we gonna have tacos?"
SA
Everybody
Artistries
wants to
in the
eat his
house
goats.
with Mr. Painting at Tiffany's. I think we're going to put them in charge of the meal preparations. So while Chad's gone, let me say this about the guy. for serious, since he wasn't here, I didn't know that I seriously didn't know that he was going to have to drop out. So I'll just take the opportunity to say that I'm really excited to be able to do this with him, because I've kind of been on the inside with him, planning and listening and getting to, hear his thoughts on things, as you have, Tiffany. You have too.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, almost no one, gets to see the guy that we know. And it isn't that the guy that we know is different than the TikTok Chad, but the TikTok Chad is for TikTok, right? It's filtered in such a way that it's a TikTok version. Just like me, when I do this show, I do it as if I'm teaching fifth grade to special needs children again, or third grade, or whatever. So I might curse a little more. I might be a little saltier than I'll come across on the TikTokers, because that's the nature of what we're doing, right? But unfortunately, Chad, the nature of what I'm doing, I kind of tame things down, which makes it seem like I'm more cut and dry and more serious and all that, and he's not as serious. But Chad is a serious man, and he's been some serious things. And just so y'all can get ready today, most of you are probably going to cry. The man has been through a lot, and he is. I don't use this word lightly. I got to work among heroes. But to me, Chad is a walking, talking hero, and I'm not kidding. He is a living example of how men should move in space. So I think a lot of the guy, and I kid with him a lot, and we go back and forth a lot. But Tiffany can witness to you that I have a lot of respect for him, and I care a lot about him, and I think he does the same. He is Crimson Rose. He is. He takes it on the chin, doesn't say a word, and just keeps on keeping on, whether it hurts him or not. He just keeps doing his thing. So, hey, SA, it's good to see you. Speaking of somebody that does her thing and overcomes things, there she is right there, SA Artistries, ladies and gentlemen. And SA Artistries would have been on the show today, too, talking some smack, but she is actually unavailable. She is out of town. She is hidden. She is in an undisclosed location with her family, and she is not to be disturbed. So if you know where she's at, please do not go bother her. Let her have some space. Let her breathe. Yes, Eric, absolutely he is. And please forgive me if I've missed some comments in the chats. I'm trying to balance between the chats and remembering all these different people I'm supposed to be talking about today. Thank you, SA. You're amazing. So another little thing that I wanted to say, and I know that this goes for Chad too, but Lars, Enigma, Cat Art, the real Goopy Goop, Eric, the airbrush artist, SA Artistries, Ambassador Hansen, Painting at Tiffany's, Theory of Radio Seb, Italo, Productions from Theory of Radio, and Ash Pauls. I wanted to thank you personally. All of you have at some point or another been moderators for me in the last month, and I really appreciate it. I know that wasn't necessarily the easiest thing to do in the last month. There's a lot going on. So thank you so much. I appreciate your efforts. And the reason we are able to have shows like this is because of people like Tiffany and people like the moderators who show up, a lot of whom show up in the middle of the night when Chad and I are doing stuff, and really appreciate it. Truthfully speaking, those shows that Chad and I do at night get way bigger numbers than the shows that we actually do in the day, because we marry things together and we do things that we might not necessarily supposed to do or whatever, and sometimes it meters the accounts, or sometimes the guests that we have on may meter the account in the algorithm some. So sometimes the numbers for these shows are a little out of whack, and also we'll tell everybody to leave and go to the guests box. So it really messes with the algorithm, and thank y'all for doing that, because I think it's amazing. It is amazing. So thank everybody. Thank you to the moderators for your extra time, your effort, your patience.
I sent him an invite. Sorry, I didn't warn you.
Hey man, we were just talking about, I listed off the moderators that I have that make this we would not be able to do without Tiffany and without the other moderators that we have. My show wouldn't
Yeah.
work. Your show wouldn't be possible. So I was just kind of thanking them while we were waiting for you to get back.
Yeah.
And
Thank
Tiffany
you.
may have said a few mean things about you while you were gone, but I tried to get her to moderate it.
Tiffany.
And I may have just slipped and told a little white lie maybe.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'd be worried. I thought Tiffany was
So
over here trying to take my gerb.
No. You
so
can
you're
have this
not
on the spot,
glitching
my
at
friend.
all.
You look fine to me now, yeah. Or you, yeah, sound great, look
Hey,
great.
there we go.
The other friend of ours that I
Problem
wanted to
fixed.
mention that has a line of products out is John Larson. If you get a chance,
Yeah.
roll through John Larson's spot. He's got some fishing gear that's pretty cool. He does some amazing wood burning. He's an extremely nice man. He works his butt off. He hardly ever sleeps. He's supportive of the artist community. I've never seen him do anything but show love to people. So if you get the opportunity, he's another person that I'd really appreciate it if you'd run by and show some love to John now and then. I don't get to hang out in his lives as much as I used to because Chad and I are usually doing other stuff. But we love that dude, and we'd appreciate it if anybody would be willing to support him. So thank you
Yep.
for that.
True
The
story.
last
SA.
public service. SA hadn't even dropped any goats or tacos on you today,
Oh my
man.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I hope you're having a
so,
great day, SA.
so we also wanted to give a shout out to just a few people like Ray Art, Sammy B, Amy Lee, Bruton, and a few others who you know who you are. And I just wanted you to hear that I love you. I hope you're doing all right. You ever need anything to me, reach out to me directly. You ever have any questions for me, go ahead and reach out. You know how to get up with me. So I just wanted
Love
to say
everyone on that
thank you
list.
to you guys. I know that you've had some things to deal with here over time too, and y'all please give your support to those folks, to Fay Ray and to Sammy B, Amy Lee, Bruton, and there's others. And I would like to welcome, and this is a little late, but there's a fellow named Wafty Lama, and there's another dude, Twisted Z. And both of those guys have been such an amazing addition to the art community. I'm so lucky to have gotten to run into them, gotten to know them. So if you happen to see them out and about or whatever, please show them some love. Give them a follow. Let's get their numbers up to where they can do lives and where they can do their thing.
Yes.
Wandering Nevada Soul's another dude that's out there roaming around. That's a special soul. That's a really good human being. If you come across that cat, please give him some love too. I know there are many others out there. I know that there are many others. And Chad and I, as you know, try to revisit those things occasionally. But yeah, if you can, support those people. They've been going out of their way. And you know, Ambassador Hanson, our dude, our guy, had an amazing
Yeah.
interview last night. If you missed it, it's creative. Oh man, it's the gallery, Creations Gallery, and they're amazing. He did an amazing interview. So if you run across Ambassador Hanson, show him some love too. Um, so, any comments on any of those folks, Miss Tiffany?
I just love the community that we're building, and I appreciate them all so much. Waking up, spending every day waking up and having coffee and art on my screen and stuff has been great. The conversations that come with it has been very fulfilling, for sure. I'm loving watching the community grow.
Well,
And I could
and
probably
this,
list 50 more people, but
yeah, me
be here
too.
all
I have
day. Like,
I
I
have a
love
whole
you
list
all.
that I won't even, yeah, that we won't even be able to get to today. That are amazing folks. That I hope they understand that there's just, we try to get there. Yeah, brother, all is well. Sorry that you jumped out of that airplane and landed in that parking lot trying to get those deals at Michael's to save us all. But I hope you're feeling better today. I don't know if you caught it or not, but we did an advertisement for Eric the Airbrush Artist and his T-shirts. Tiffany has one right there. He's in the chat right now, so feel free to
Hit him up.
even leave and come back for Chad's interview. But go check out Eric's t-shirts. Hit him up for a DM or his sweaters. My understanding is you can get all kinds of things. And that leads me to ChadRevArt, ladies and gentlemen. So since today, we're going to start doing some stuff about ChadRevArt. And I haven't done the big intro and bio because we're going to do that together. We're going to do things a little differently together. And I would encourage everyone right now, this moment, to go get yourself something to drink. If you need to pee, go do that. If you need to call a friend, if you need to send out shares, invites, whatever, go ahead and do that. Because you're going to need some tissues today, most likely. Because we're gonna talk to the man that Tiffany and I get to see. Um, um, we're gonna turn off the TikTok Chad, which is a serious Chad, which is the same dude, which is like I said, he's just got to filter it in a way that works for TikTok. So we're gonna ask him to turn off the TikTok Chad. He's gonna give us the serious Chad, and there's no like buttons for Chad today. He don't have any like buttons that he can push and mess with. He's going to be the guy in the big box. He's going to be the guy that we're talking about. There's no way for him to mute me or Tiffany because he's in his own live. So he's just going to have to take it on this one. He's just going to have to grin and bear it. Bring on the man. So Chad also has some merchandise available, and he has had merchandise available, but he never talks about it. And I'm also terrible about talking about such things. So we're going to talk about it today. So I have actually saved to my clipboard. Let's see, we might see me fail spectacularly right out of the gates. But what I would like to be able to do is drop something in the chat that says something, and I don't even have a chat section in my thing right now. So let's see what happens.
So you click the three little dots down in the corner, and then
here we go.
You find the comment button or selection.
Got you. See what I mean by we couldn't. So yes, she does. So right here, I'm going to see if this works. I don't know or not, but on my clipboard, because Chad taught me this, is it okay to drop that T-shirt, Chad, or no?
Which one? Mine?
Yeah, the spring one.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to try to drop the link for that in the chat.
Wow, I just dropped it in my chat too.
There you go.
Brand new
So
shirt,
there's
guys.
the link.
I missed the memo. Go get the link.
sorry, Tiffany. I just did. That's what I was doing when I furiously sent you. Hey, you were good. So there's the link right there. If anybody wants to copy that, you can go to that link, and you can. There's all kinds of different merch you can get there. All kinds of ChadRevArt related stuff. But I'm about to show you. Here's the beginnings. Here's the inkling of what kind of dude this guy is. I'm about to drop another link in your chat for you. And this is something that ChadRevArt has been working on. And you can also find this exclusively at ChadRevArt. This is the only place you can find it. But he's put into work. And hold on, guys. I'm working here. I'm trying to get to the Cliffy board. Uh-oh. Hold on. I did it one time. I can do it again, y'all. Sorry about that. Let me try again here.
Hey, Chris.
All right, bingo, and then we go there, and then we look for the clipboard, and then we put our glasses on so we can see what's on the clipboard real quick. And then, here you go. There is the very first on TikTok. I've had them before, but not here. The very first official on TikTok Gen Project t-shirt available. Put together by ChadRevArt, available on the ChadRevArt site. If anybody were interested in any one of those, you can go to ChadRevArt and you can find them. And what I mean by that is this dude did that furiously to get it done so that I would have the ability to be able to, put a shirt on if I go to an event, or they would be available to people. He did stickers and mugs and all kinds of stuff. So the dude, there is evidence that the dude puts in work for other people. So thank you, my brother, for that. I'm
Very
looking
welcome, sir.
forward. I'm going to order one of his spring T-shirts myself. I've been saving my pennies. Um, so, and I also got to order a bigger dead shirt, and I
Yeah.
also got to order an Eric the Airbrush shirt. So I'm hoping maybe Eric can make me a T-shirt. So we'll see what
Since
happens.
I just dropped that brand new spring Chad Rev Art shirt, it is on sale for $16. So get it now before it's not on sale.
Get two.
Brand new, just
Make
dropped
sure
today.
somebody sends
Yeah.
me that link, please, because yeah.
Sure. I just dropped it in here, guys. If you want to copy it and take it to her, that would be great.
I'll screenshot it.
Yeah.
I can always get
If
it
you
from
guys
you
Hey,
later
Smith.
too.
can't,
I
yeah.
think
Hey,
I can
Smith.
get a hold of you.
Yeah,
If
you
not,
might be able to
guys,
find us.
yeah, if you guys don't find the link there, you can go to ChadRevArt.com and just hit the little merch link, and it'll take you to my merch, and you can look through it.
Perfect.
The Gin Project shirt is there. My new spring T-shirt is in. You can also get it on mugs, all sorts of stuff. The design that we put out for those. So go do it. When you have your coffee with us, have a Gin Project mug or have a Chad Rev Art mug.
Right? Yes, yes. Please do that. Please do that.
Hey
Especially the
Flash,
Chad Rev Art ones because it's cool. You got to see the design. Go check it out. It's cool.
it's all right.
So
It's all right.
so
I'm super
the
excited.
so the the other side of that too, it goes even further. Chad and I over the last months have been trying to figure out how to come up with ways to thank people. And it's different, in Chad's world, you can send a print to someone, sign it, and they're numbered, and those are valuable and cool. For me, I actually build stuff out of wood. It's a little harder to just kind of put something together. You can just send off to somebody like that. So
Mm-hmm.
part of the T-shirts and the stickers and the other stuff that's available, and Chad is also working on some other things. Believe it or not, uh, um, like some of my works that are done where you can get a print of the image. So we'll be doing some of those where I can sign them and send them off to folks as thank yous, or people can buy them or whatever. So got a bunch more stuff coming in the works. He's got a bunch of other stuff he can't even talk about that he's been working on. So uh, go check it out. There's a whole list. I just did 35 minutes on all the different artists on this platform that you could go support in one way or another, from Theory of Radio, all the people on that platform. Um, to Davino, to Lady Sean's collab tomorrow, Eric the Airbrush Artist, Dead Making Art, John Larson. So all kinds of folks to go out there and support. Please do that.
Painting at
Uh,
Tiffany's.
and and well, we're about to talk about some painting at Tiffany's too. So here's another really cool thing. Here's a really cool thing about Chad. I just gave you one example of him going out of his way to do stuff for other people. But I had seen Chad working on one of his paintings late at night, and around the time that I met Tiffany, and I didn't know him, I had just seen him, and then Tiffany introduced me to him and kind of pointed out, hey, here's the reality of this guy, and that led me to stay on this platform, and the way all of that went down was Chad reached out to me and asked me would I be interested in being the co-host on his show. And ooh, that's a great idea. Say again, Chad. Oh man, that would be dope. Crimson Rose. So so Chad Chad Rev Art has how do you say this? Well, let's switch gears. I'm gonna completely switch gears. Chad has been through a lot in his life. Let's put it that way. Chad. I'm hesitant to speak too much, but let me give you a little bit of information here for those of you that don't know. Chad was raised in a cult. He escaped. Chad's father was a preacher. Chad's mother's father was a preacher. His father was a preacher. Um, um, and they were of a pretty strict faith. And Chad was essentially rejected by the majority, overwhelming majority of his family when he chose a different path. And Chad has dealt with hurt and pain and suffering since his inception. Chad's father had some differences with this group of people on how women should be treated, how our neighbors should be treated, how minorities should be treated. And Chad is cut from that cloth. And Chad's father is still in Chad's life and is a good man and is someone that we would like to hold up. This isn't about bad mouthing Chad's father. This is about talking about people overcoming things, and they did it together, which is another amazing story in itself, that Chad and his father have such an amazing relationship that they do. I've been on conversations with Chad, and he will drop the conversation when his dad calls, just like I do with my wife, just like he does with his wife. So I'm painting a picture here, and give me a few moments, folks. This is going to take some time. So Chad is a young man, and he's literally growing up in a cult. And Chad has to beat leukemia. And as a child, he's got all of this stuff going on. Oh, by the way, he ends up with leukemia. How old were you, Chad?
I was 4.
So you had all the shit figured out by then. It was no big deal, right?
Yeah, right.
So that was sarcasm for anybody that
Right.
isn't catching it. Don't send me hate mail. Yes, Chad and I get hate mail, and please don't send me hate mail. I was kidding. So Chad is this child. He's growing up in a cult. He's had cancer. He's overcome cancer. He gets through high school, and he's pretty much disowned by his family. And he's told me some nice stories about one of his grandmothers taking him to a park one time, which was a great memory for him because things like that hardly ever happened for him. So before he even got through high school, he had been through a lot, and that could have made him a bitter person. But he went on to spend a couple decades as the lead singer, frontman, and multi-instrumentalist for some bands. And he played with some bands that you've heard of. And I'm going to give you a little information that he would never give you, and he may even be pissed at me about this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I do what the hell I want to do.
Here we go.
But if you're curious, go look up a band called Frail.
Greg.
That's all I'm going to give you. That'll lead you to other bands. You may also look up the Music is a Weapon tour. That'll give you a little starting point. But Chad has been on this platform for over a year, and he never uses any of his past career to push his art. The art that you see behind him, the art that we're going to get to see, he completely developed the ChadRevArt thing independent of a career that he already made in art. That's the other kind of dude that he is. That's how driven that he is. He didn't call all the people that he knew, all the famous people, and say, hey, come buy my shit. He started over. He literally started over because he didn't want to cash in on that other thing. He wanted what he was doing now to be legit. There are people that have known him from years that don't even know what he was working on. So there's another layer, and we're gonna peel some layers back today, folks. So I don't care if there's only one person in the room when we get done. I'm gonna get all the way to the end of this story. and Tiffany, I hope you're willing to ride with me, and because there's going to be some points where we're going to need you on this one to interject and maybe put your arm around us and tell us it's going to be all right. So for you folks in the chat, I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you so much for being here. I'm trying to make sure that I focus. I see you, Flash Gordon. Amazing dude. That's art for autism right there. Please know that I'm trying to commit, like I always do, to the guest. It just so happens that the guest today is ChadRevArt. So, moderators, please make sure folks know that I love them. I appreciate them. I'm just not able to. Today, I'm trying to stay on focus, and I don't want to break out into tears at any moment here. So I'm trying to hold my shit together, y'all. So our friend was raised in a cult. 4 years old, he goes through leukemia. by the time he graduates from high school, he's an outcast and he's disowned by his family. And now he has a 2 decade music career that is in a profession that he might as well have been working for the devil. So, and all of the drama and all of the struggles that came with that. Yet, even after that, he's a nice dude. So now he's a professional musician. He's made it through a whole lot in his life. He's already been through cancer, and now he has to get a kidney transplant. So let's start there, Chad. I kind of
Sure.
I kind of blazed over some of that other stuff. We'll go back to that, right? But
Sure.
so let's just sweep the first cancer under the rug real quick for the sake of the conversation. And let's just sweep the
Right on.
fact that you were raised the way that in the situation that you were raised in, and you escaped from what you escaped from, and you went on to do the things that you did and rock out stadiums, my brother. Let's sweep all of that away, and let's start at the transplant. Can you do that for me? And
Sure.
just tell me a little bit about how that happened and or how that came about and you finding out about it, and then um, what the people that were playing music with you at the time, what their response to you was, and if you don't mind sharing that, please. And I'll
Sure.
come back and
Sure.
remind you of any of these if you need me to.
Sure. Sure.
Kidney, your
Um,
boys, what it meant.
sure. Um, I had already started playing music at that point, and I got sick, and I went to the ER eventually, and they basically told me I was a junkie, and I was on no drugs. That's what was funny, like zero drugs. They treated me really, really terrible and sent me packing. I mean, it was rough. So I left, and I figure I had the flu, something like that. Months went by. I was still sick. Um, I eventually kind of got forced to go back to the ER at a different hospital. Um, and they figured out that I had less than 5 units of blood, and what I had was so toxic it couldn't carry oxygen, and that my kidneys had went completely. They were wondering how I was alive, much less standing up and having a conversation with them. So they had to do emergency dialysis, and I spent the next year on dialysis. And I guess when I found out that I got that my kidneys had shut down, I had a talk with my new band at the time, which is the one you just spoke about, Frail. Um, and I told him, I was like, hey guys, look, I don't know what's going to come out of this. So, you know, maybe go get another singer and, carry on, and I'll try to catch up with you. And they were all like, absolutely not. Like, there is zero chance that we would ever even think about that. And they didn't. They stuck with me for a year. My drummer actually, I was in a coma for about 10 days. And my drummer spent several of those days beside me holding my hand because for some reason, even though I was in a coma, every time he let go of me, my blood pressure shot up to a point they thought I was going to stroke out. And he didn't leave. They brought him food. I mean, he like barely got to take off to go to the bathroom, whatever, if that tells you how these guys were. So they waited a year. And like I said, I died a few times during that. Got paddled back, all that kind of fun stuff. And then I got a phone call telling me I had a kidney waiting on me. And it was really nothing short of miraculous because a lot of people don't know, but there are tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of people right now waiting for a kidney in this country. And the sad thing is the majority of them will never get one. it was no big deal to go to dialysis, and the person you sat next to a couple of days ago isn't there. And that was a pretty regularly occurring thing. And you would talk to people that had been waiting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years sometimes for kidneys. But they told me when I first started getting on the transplant list that they test a whole lot of different things in your blood, and one of the options that they mentioned of different things that could happen is what's called a 6-antigen match. You have 6 antigens in your blood, and if you have a 6-antigen match, that is basically a familial, even if it's not, match. That's a perfect match. And they said that those just don't happen. It's just something they have to cover in all of it's a big complicated ordeal. But a year into my dialysis, I got a phone call, and they had a 6-antigen match for me. And I didn't get a lot of information. It was a cadaveric donor from Texas, a man about my age. That's about all I really know about it. That was 21 years ago, just a few days ago, about a week ago. Oh my gosh, Flash, thank you so much, man. Did you say to get to the transplant? Is that what you said?
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you.
So yeah.
So you've been through what you've been through. You get out of high school, you work your ass off, you get this career working in an area where you're hated by the people that you cared about, and you're successful. You're beginning to be successful, and you go to the doctors, and though doctors are amazing, this particular set of doctors dropped the ball, and you were sent packing, and you spent some months getting worse, which almost killed you, and you ended up back in the hospital. Thank you so far.
A lot.
You ended up in and out of the hospital a lot. You get this transplant, and then you play some music. Is that accurate? With the guys that waited for you.
Sorry, you cut out.
You then went on to
Yes.
play some music with the fellows that waited for you.
Yeah, I did. I toured extensively for several years with those guys, many years actually.
And
great.
went on to rock out
It was a wonderful
stadiums, did you not?
experience. I did.
You did. You did.
That was a lot of fun too. There's nothing like playing in front of thousands of people. It's unlike anything else. I don't know.
So can I just point
I don't
out
have any
right
audio
here?
for you, Tiffany.
Can I just point out right? Can I just point out right here the integrity, the character that it takes to start over, given all that he'd been through, all of that, and not to go back and lean on that career to try to prop up your art. You actually built an art career again after all of that, and we still got more to come. That's just the hors d'oeuvres. Go get your tissues. Go get something to drink. Use the bathroom, because that's just the beginning. We haven't even got to the good stuff yet, right? All that was easy, relatively speaking. Looking
Yeah.
back now, keep in mind that means Chad was on the medications that are required for someone who's taken a transplant for 21 years. Or he's been able to get off of those recently, but for 20 years he had to take transplant medications while he was doing all of these other things. Keep in mind, here's a dude that was not a junkie, that was told by doctors because of what he did as a profession, most likely, that he was a junkie and he needed to go on his way. The dude wasn't doing any of that. So, the fact that you're not bitter, pissed off guy running around just kicking shit over all the time blows my mind. To be honest with you, man,
I mean,
because that's a lot.
younger. I mean, when I was younger, I was a bit bitter about it, you know. But you just kind of have to come to terms with where you're at.
So let's get on further down the road. Now you've used up, I don't know, 4 or 5 of your lives, or more, maybe, and
Right.
we're gonna return to that. Tiffany, I'm so sorry. I need to give you a moment here to throw anything in that you would care to.
Oh, I'm
I'm
good.
trying so hard to keep it organized in my brain
I'm
here. I'm
just
about to
kind of
lose my
sucked in.
mind.
I didn't know some of that stuff, and I'm super glad it went the way it did because I like him.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Right,
Oh
right.
gosh.
My dog's
So
keep making noise. That's why I'm staying muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
that's funny.
It's usually
So
mine.
so So then, that's like I was saying earlier. People expect Chad to be this crazy batshit guy that's just doing all this wild stuff. But the truth is, when we're talking to him at night, he's talking about data and talking about how to make the show better and coming up with ideas and trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, folks in the chat, all 3 of these boxes, the people in the chat, I promise you, your names come up. He brings you up. Hey, what do you think we could do to include this person? What do you think we could do to include that person? Hey, how do you think we could include a shout out here for this person? Hey, Nightmare really went through it this week. How could we put in a shout out for Nightmare? Hey, Haley Beth was dropping me some of my blue hearts the other day. We need to make sure to give Haley Beth a shout out. You know, he's constantly thinking about other people. Tiffany, be my witness here, please.
100%. It's amazing that everybody else is always at the forefront of his mind, and he keeps
Yeah,
creating, and he
yeah.
still does all the things he needs to
And he
do.
gets fucking hate mail for it.
Oh yeah,
He gets
but
hate
isn't there
mail
like
for it.
something that says you're doing it
No
right when you start
bullshit.
having haters? Like, I mean,
I get hated
can't
hard.
keep
He
everybody
gets hate
happy.
mail.
Thank you, SA.
So
Yeah, I get hated hard. It's funny.
So here's the other thing I'd like to mention. I'd like to point out the freaking obvious here. This man walks around with the scars literally on his body from his experiences. Um,
Ton of them.
and it's a constant reminder. And I'm going to give you the next series of trials and tribulations. So fast forward, and now he gets diagnosed with cancer
Dang.
and is going to have to go through chemo.
I love you, SA.
So I love you too, SA. So now, Chad, uh, you're at a point that let me just give you. Let me give some of the stuff that came out in our conversation a little bit. When you were going through chemo the first time, before you talk too much about that, can you just set that up? Can you just set me up to where, like, in the time frame, what's going on in your life? Now you find this news out, and then I'd like to talk a little bit about it, and then I'm gonna put it back on you.
Well, I'll add that I waited until 5 days before I was 40 to have a child, and she was only a couple of years old when this happened. So that really made it more complicated, I would say. I guess that's the
I
word.
bet.
I I live in the country, way out in the middle of nowhere, as a lot of you may know, on a farm. And I thought that I had a bug bite on my stomach. You get a lot of those out here. So I didn't think much of it. That evening, I had about 3 or 4 more. And I was like, okay. Well, the next morning when I woke up, I had a lot more. And I told my wife, I said, I think something's going on with me. I might need to go check with my doc because, I'm on kidney meds for 15 some plus years at that point. Um, by the time Monday rolled around, I was covered in those bumps all over my torso. And they took they decided to send me to have a biopsy, and they thought the same thing that I did. I was having some kind of a situation with my medication, um, and it was no big deal. But they sent me to another doctor. That doctor looked at it and said the same thing. He thought it was my medication doing something, probably just need an adjustment. And he asked me, do you want me to go ahead and biopsy one just to make sure? I tend to be on the paranoid side a lot of times, so I'm like, yeah, have at that, you know? So he takes one, and I don't know, it was a week or so later, I went into the office to find out that it was lymphoma, which I had to go tell my father and tell my wife that I have cancer. Actually, they didn't even know what kind it was. They just said that it was cancerous, and that obviously since I was breaking out in these knots all over my body, I needed to get on it like post haste. And so I had to wait several days to go and see an oncologist, a cancer specialist. And for any of you who have dealt with any major health atrocities, waiting a few days feels like months, if not years. And they said it was lymphoma. Immediately sent me in. I think it was within 48 hours I was going in to get another port. It wasn't my first. And less than 48 hours after that.
Didn't they call you the Port Authority? I have that in my notes here. They literally called you the Port Authority. You had so damn many ports put in you.
I've had so many ports that my friends and even my nurses called me the Port Authority. I've had
Oh, we still do.
one of my yeah, right, yeah. I've had one in my femoral artery in my leg that ran to my heart. I had a subclavian over on my right side that ran to my heart. I've had one on the left side that was a subdermal, ran to my heart. The last time I had one in my bicep that ran into my, yeah, I've had a lot of them. Some of them had tubes, like the one here hung all the way to my belt. And I had to wrap it up and tape it against my chest and stuff.
And that doesn't count the giant catheter that you get when you get a kidney transplant to keep the pressure down that they removed by mistake and had to put back in. That goes back to when you had the kidney transplant. They removed his catheter prematurely, the kind of catheter that you have to have when you have a kidney transplant, not a regular one, a giant one, and then had to reinstall it. So his luck wasn't always that great as the procedures were happening. Things always seem to get more complicated.
Yeah,
Can I just add that note in there?
Yeah, the balloon on the catheter that is supposed to be completely deflated and like pulled back into the tube also did not get completely deflated or back into the tube. So when they pulled it out, they took the balloon through with it. I mean, it was deflated for the most part, but yeah. And then my specialist came in not even an hour later and asked how I felt, and I said, "Great, now that I have this out." And he about had a conniption, and he said, "That's not supposed to be out for days. We got to get it back in." So there was that. That was fun. Yeah, it was horrible, Crimson. It was terrible.
So skipping back forward to the lovely experience of being told that you now have cancer and you're going to have to go through these treatments. Like you said, like you mentioned, your daughter. So I'm going to put a little pause in right here, and we're going to talk just a little. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to go further down this cancer journey. Unfortunately, but your daughter and your wife are like the most important thing to you. I know that because I get to talk to you so much. I'm fortunate enough that I get to see a little bit of the inside life of ChadRevArt since we've known each other, and I can tell you that we're the same way. When our wives call, we got to go. Whatever we're doing, we got to go.
Yep.
And it's been that way since we've been together, and it's not because we don't want it that way. It's because we want it that way. So his daughter
Yes.
is the love of his life. She is an amazing little human being running around, smart. She's an artist. I've seen her do artwork
Yes.
that was inspired by people on this platform, which is amazing. Would you please hold up her piece of art that you use every day that people often don't know about?
The heart
That was made by
monster.
his daughter. It's a heart monster, y'all. So for those that you
The
didn't know
monster
what
heart.
that
Daddy's
was,
monster heart.
there's the inside story. Daddy's monster heart. How about that? That's amazing. So, his wife, his daughter have been through the ringer with him, and everything that he does, I can tell
Really.
you this: every damn thing that he does is for his wife and his daughter. And I would argue that if he's got to choose between the wife and the daughter, the wife's in trouble. because that little girl is something else, man. I mean, I know your wife's amazing. She's an amazing person, and I
Yes.
would normally not say that, but then she gave birth to this other little amazing person that
Right.
I'm
Right.
pretty. I'm pretty sure she has all of the rest of your heart, dude. I'm
Yes.
convinced of that.
Yes.
She walks in the room and the dude starts stuttering like as if like he's smitten. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The dude absolutely adores his family, and some of that is y'all have been through a lot together, man, and it's amazing that y'all are together, that y'all are supportive, because there's another example where families get ripped apart by some of these things sometimes. It's
Not
really
ours.
stressful. So, so not yours at all. So, can you please tell us about now that we understand that you've got a little girl that's 2 years old, this first diagnosis, or the second diagnosis is actually different type, but um, could you please tell us a little bit about that first go round? They tell you you're going to have treatments. Can you tell us kind of how many treatments? Unfortunately, I'm going to ask you the terrible question. What was that like? Can you explain to us what it was like that first one, and then we're going to get to the second one.
Up until that point in life, when I had to face things like my kidney transplant and all the dialysis and everything, I wasn't a dad. Um, and then I found out the hard way that dealing with something like that when you're a dad is a whole new scenario. Because while I love my wife with all of my heart, um, having my daughter and then finding out that this was happening was just a whole new ball game. Like, whole new ball game. I mean, because you have to think of things like, you see the videos of the dads where they shave their face and they cover it up and they show their kid and the kid's like, I got to think about this because I had hair like down to here, okay, and a big old beard. So I'm thinking my kid, who's only like 2.5, has got to see this happen. So, I mean, you got to take not only the normal cancer and chemo stuff into consideration, but I've got a 2-year-old that's going to be watching this happen. And I mean, as a lot of people know here, kids at that age are extremely impressionable, and how we handle this could, you know, shape her personality to a point, for the rest of her life. So, I mean, even when it came to like my hair, we I did it in stages. I cut it and cut it shorter, and then like eventually she went with me to get it cut, so she could see it getting cut off in the process. She helped me when it started getting shorter and stuff. She actually helped me with the clippers, and she got to be a part of it, so it was more fun. She knew I was sick. She's an extremely intelligent kid, and I know a lot of people say that about their kid, but I mean, she's a second grader that reads at like a fifth grade plus level. Okay, so I'm not kidding when I'm like she's an intelligent kid. So she had to help with all that process, and it got harder not only during that time because she was getting more privy to what was going on, and you kind of have to explain it away, you know. I lost my hair, obviously, my beard. What they don't tell you is you lose your eyelashes too. So that was that. I know that sounds really like simple, but imagine when you get an eyelash in your eye and you fight forever to get it out, and fighting to get it out puts more in there, you know. So I mean, me and my daughter are like this. So if I'm even like halfway coughing, she's running in to check on me. That's how she's been since she could run in and check on me. That's just who she is. So I mean, she was right there for it, you know. And I mean, I spent a lot of time on the bathroom floor. It went on for, I don't know, 6 months or so that the actual treatments did. I don't know. What else would you like to know about it?
The treatments that scarred your bones are what we're talking about here. The
Well,
treatments.
those are two different things actually that happened this time around.
It gets better, y'all.
Yes. Yeah.
Can we also
This
talk
time around,
about?
which was 5 years ago. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, buddy. Go ahead. My bad.
No, yeah. This time that we're talking about now, 5 years ago, when they did when they did the PET scan, the tumors light up white, and mine looked almost like a Starry Night painting. I mean, it was 50 plus just in my torso. So they told me after I, went through chemo and everything, they were like, some of these have scarred your bone. I mean, luckily they didn't get into like the bone marrow and such. That would have been a whole different situation. But like everywhere that those were, I have like scars on the bone, scarred tissue. I mean, yeah, a lot of times it feels like I got ran over by a truck or something. But my whole pelvis was full of them. It almost like the seam on the back of your pelvis where it comes together was actually getting pushed apart from them. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. So can I just point out here that what this man just described is that his child, who is now, I don't know if I'm supposed to say her age or not, bro.
That's fine.
This young child who's young elementary school age, and before elementary school, checks on her dad when he gets the sniffles because she realizes the peril that he's been through. He also told me a story about some tape, and I'm thinking is that on the second one? Is okay? So notice on the first one. Okay, so can you talk a little bit about the tape because you were talking about cutting your hair and all of that? Can you talk about the tape?
Sure. I want anybody out there that is going through chemo or knows somebody going through chemo. You're going to think this is a silly story to start out with, but it can save those folks a whole lot of headache, trouble.
Rick the Muse, hey brother.
You can only shave your head down so far unless you're going to break out Bics and everything. And when you're on chemo, you really shouldn't be doing that because you don't want to be nicking your head and cutting and setting yourself up for infection. Well, if you go to scratching your head and you have that little bitty stubble, it starts falling out. And it's like peppery, and it gets in your eyes, it gets in your food, it's everywhere. What I did is I took duct tape and I wrapped it around my hand backwards like you would lint roll yourself. And I started rolling it across my head, and you could see it like I was mowing the grass. It was just coming off. It didn't hurt. That stuff's already falling out. But I gave myself, of course, my wife and daughter helped me because they're right there all the time. That's what they do. And so I got a duct tape haircut, and I went from having, a 5 o'clock shadow on my head to being slick, shiny, bald. It did not hurt whatsoever, and it saved me a lot of trouble and a lot. I'm maybe the only person that that has had a duct tape haircut, but I hope that you guys will share this with anybody who may need that knowledge, because it sounds silly, but it worked.
Tiffany, how we doing over there, boss?
I'm fine. I'm just listening. Feel like I'm just
Any
watching the
thoughts?
show.
Any thoughts so far? Any thoughts so
No,
far?
this is just
No.
incredible. It's amazing how much children pick up on at such young ages. And then your connection with her is obviously really special. That's awesome. I'm glad she's got a
Um.
daddy.
So, you know, everything that God does is for His family,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to reiterate, He gets fucking hate mail.
Yeah, I did.
So,
I don't know
so
if I should be
let's
upset
fast
or
forward.
proud.
Right? I mean, so here's the other side of that coin. It should occur to y'all by now that that ain't really gonna crack this dude. So, so, so let's fast
Not
forward a
even a
little
little
bit
bit.
and get to the second. So you've survived this. You get a diagnosis that's clean. You don't have to take, or you get a diagnosis that says you don't have to take chemo anymore. You're starting to try to recover from that, which is a long process to get your strength back, to get built back up. You started out, you were like 6'3". Now you're like 5'9" at this point. That was a joke, folks. I was only kidding there. That was a little bit of humor. He was actually 6'4". So,
Nah,
so, uh,
huge.
so so now Chad is um are you playing music at all after at this first go around with cancer as an adult?
I haven't been on a stage since, God, it's been a long time. 2012 was the last time I was on a stage. I was making and have made some solo stuff. I've only released a little bit of that, but yeah.
Go look at his page. He also has Insta. He has the Facebooks. He has the these other ones. So if you look up Frail, if you look up Music as a Weapon Tour, I gave you breadcrumbs. It can take you to cool shit that ChadRevArt did that he never talks about because he don't cash in on his old career. So go check it
I just
out.
wanted my art to stand for itself. I wanted people to like my art because of the art itself, not because of a name that I made in a different art form before. Because I'm sure there were people out there that would buy my art simply because of who made it.
Mm-hmm.
And while I appreciate that and that's great, I wanted my art to stand on its own.
It does. You're
It damn
amazing.
sure does, sir.
It does.
Let me say this that I mentioned earlier. Everything you do is for your family and your daughter, and you want your daughter to be healthy and intelligent and emotionally healthy and and prepared to live in this world that we face these days. Um, and
Yeah.
in my notes, I found this to me what was this circular beauty. You talking about your daughter, and I've got notes on things you were said that I won't obviously mention, but I've got pages of notes here, Chad, that I'm working off of from when we were
Oh my
talking. A
gosh.
lot of it, a lot of it is about your daughter, and um, I'd like to point this out. The one of the things that Chad said to me is, "Man, you have to understand." He said 5 years ago, when I was going through my first cancer diagnosis, every person on my team, the oncologist, all the other doctors, the nurses, the staff, the people he was working with, were all women.
Yeah.
Women saved his life. He's got
Over
a
and over and
wife.
over.
He's got a daughter. He's been brought back to life literally multiple times. His first go round with cancer as an adult, as he was going through chemo, everyone in important decision making positions were female, were women. His life was in the hands of women, and he's still here today. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. I don't know. It's anecdotal,
Thank you,
right?
buddy.
I don't have any empirical evidence, but probably didn't hurt your
Right.
situation, right?
I see.
You probably got some attention. Um, they probably didn't kick you out and be like, yeah, you need to quit with the drugs, right?
Nope, they were spec-frickin-tacular.
So let me just put a pin in that.
Hey, Rick.
Is us this beauty, this duality, right? He's got his daughter who is coming in to check on him, who is a child. We're talking pre-elementary school child, coming to check on him while he's at home. And while he's at the hospital fighting this battle, or he's on the phone talking to the people he needs to talk to, or going to all the different appointments, the people who held his lives in their hand were women. So,
Thank you.
I think that is important to point out,
And
because the dude is there. The piece of art that is sitting behind him is a commentary on how women have been treated. So, another thing about this guy is that even though he's the dude that can kick down the door and go in there and start checking chins, he's the dude that would rather figure it out, get everybody together, and figure out how everybody can get on the same page and accomplish whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. In this instance, it was saving his life. um, so,
I want to take one
uh,
second here. One moment. I have a childhood friend that's in here right now, and he and his brother were my best friends as I was healing up from leukemia as a child. And they were so good to me, and they treated me like a third brother. Ken Hensley, dude, I love you, man, and I miss your brother. Go ahead, brother. I needed to give a shout out to my boy here.
hey, this is your show, man. There you go, Ken.
They loved me through it, man. Those were my best friends growing up. My
Appreciate
little boy.
y'all. Appreciate y'all doing that. Appreciate y'all. So now we get now the Port Authority carries his broken ass in for the second go round. Um, and you know, you've I think you're on your eighth life at this point. You only got 9. You're on your eighth, and now you're giving a second diagnosis of cancer that is going to require you to go through this horrific treatment that you've had to go through before. Um, go get your stuff, folks. Something to drink. Go to the bathroom, whatever. But Chad, take us on that journey.
Well, I'm going to back you up a little bit and mention that when the plague hit, with all the medications I was on for my kidneys and the fact that I had just gotten over cancer, I was locked away, like locked away. They were like, do not even, don't even think about going anywhere around anybody. And just as things were getting clear enough to start going anywhere, actually, let me back up. After my first time of this last 5 years, it was taking me a long time to recover physically. And as I was just starting to get recovered physically enough to go places and do things, thank you so much, Dark, that's when COVID hit. So as I was coming out of lockdown from going through chemo, because you can't be around a whole lot of folks during that, as I'm coming out of lockdown from that, COVID hit. So I went into lockdown for COVID. And then as that was clearing up, I went in for a normal checkup. And then they called me and they said, hey, it's back. So lockdown, 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 lockdown. It just kept. Thank you, Dark. It just kept coming. So I remember I was laying in my bed when they called me that time. I was still asleep. They woke me up and told me that, and I thought I was dreaming for a few minutes. I had to sit there and like wake up and realize that no, that had actually just happened, because as some of you may know, when you go through that kind of stuff, sometimes it messes with you mentally, and you can have anxiety from it really bad, afraid it's going to come back. You can have nightmares constantly, afraid it's going to come back. And most of the time that's just anxiety, and most of the time those are just nightmares. This time for me, it wasn't. But that's how it goes once in a while. Yeah, Crimson, heavily. You know what? I'm just going to be really open with everybody, because I know there's other folks that I speak to that are dealing with chemo or the effects of. So I'm just going to be outright with it. And I was diagnosed with extreme medical PTSD because of all this. I didn't come through it all unscathed. What you see isn't the natural fall of things for me and my personality. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of meditation. It took a lot of love from the people around me. It's not something that's fully gone. I still have that. It's not, that doesn't just shut off. So for those of you guys out there dealing with all that kind of stuff, that's normal. It's okay. It is okay. There's nothing wrong with you.
So here's
it's heavy shit. And
I'd like to paint a
if you're
picture.
Carrying that, reach out.
Absolutely. I'd like to paint a picture here. So here's this man that every day for the last since he's 4 years old, 43 years, he's had in the back of his head that it could come back tomorrow. While he had that in the back of his head, kidneys failed. Overcomes that, which is not very likely given the number of kidneys that are needed and the number of kidneys available. So he gets through that. He's diagnosed with cancer again, goes through those chemo treatments for half a year, affected him for longer than that, of course. His daughter's anxious, his wife, of course, they're coming in to check on him. They're worried about him. His father's worried about him. The other people in his life that care, his friends, all of these folks are worried about him. But every day that he wakes up, he's got that little thing in the back of his head that he has to deal with, folks. Every day. It doesn't go away. And despite that, the dude is kind and generous and thoughtful and compassionate. And, what I see is this this kind of weird, dark, kind of genius-y, Einstein-y kind of dude that's like going through data and trying to figure shit out, and his hair's all sticking out, and he's like, he's like, his brain is on another level, right? That's why I'm always kidding around, like he's from another planet or something, because on top of dealing with all of this other stuff that's going on, and he's worried about his daughter, he's worried about his dad, he's worried about his wife, he's worried, all of the friends, the family, all of that stuff. And he still manages to produce amazing art. He still manages to produce incredible music that he doesn't even talk about. Doesn't even talk about it. So, just picture, here you go, hold on, Project Zero Art. Project Zero Art sent me this.
You have seen
that's Edgar Allan Poe, right? But see the hair, see the maniacal, like there's the dark and the light, and there's two, that Chad has some depth, folks. There's more than just one thing going on there. Hey, Element Rose, how's it going? Good to see you. Speaking of people that have been through some things. So here's this, heat-seeking missile of positivity that is ChadRevArt, fueled by compassion and empathy and love and affection and giving of self and fellowship and caring about your community, giving your time to your community, all of those kind of things. Hello, Lady Sean. Speaking of people that support their communities, hey, Johnny Ray, this guy is like this mad genius, this running around at night figuring shit out. And he doesn't just like get the veil to go over the hair on his head when he's carving. He's got like where the veil comes over the hair out from under it, does a little twisty thing, goes back down under it. So, I mean, and he wakes up every day wondering if he's going to get a shitty phone call. It just is absolutely amazing to me, which makes it even crazier to me that there's people that hate on him. It blows my mind. So, anyway, mad genius, behind the scenes, running around doing crazy maniacal shit, but talking in this like mellow, chilled out, we're going to figure it out. Don't worry about it. We got this. How could we help so and so attitude going on the whole time? So, um, is that is that at all accurate, Chad? Am I allowed to say that? You're not as dumb as you look. Is what I'm saying.
I may play a little dumber on TikTok than I actually am for the fun of it. It's possible. I may be a numbers and metrics nerd and a science nerd, and yeah,
So
maybe a little.
here's a guy that's made albums. He's toured.
Thank
He's
you.
been in front of thousands of people performing, and he goes through all this medical stuff. His family goes through all this medical stuff, and he makes the decision, hey, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore, probably. So I'm going to do this other thing. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to tell anybody about this 20-year career that I had. I'm just going to start from scratch. And that in itself tells you that the dude is some maniacal guy running around trying to figure shit out. So,
It seems natural. I don't know.
yeah, I guess so. I guess so. So now let's get to the second time that you are you've come through it. Now take me to this second diagnosis, if you would, please, sir.
Well, that's when COVID was finally getting cleared up enough to where I could, I don't know, go out of
Of
my
course.
house and off of my farm.
Right.
And I had to go in for a scan, like I have to do all the time still. I love you guys too, Kat. But that phone call didn't come through well. So this was a whole new situation, and this was the one that actually caused me to get the diagnosis of the extreme medical PTSD. Because I kind of had a full-on meltdown when they started the first chemo treatment on me that time around. And,
Hey, let me stop you. Let me stop you, because you're my brother and I love you.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to pause for a second if you want to talk about that or not.
Oh, you're cutting out.
I just want to pause for a second
Sorry,
to give you the
cutting
opportunity.
out. Got everybody freezing out here.
Are you able to hear me, buddy?
Now, maybe, I think.
I just wanted to give just a pause
Okay.
for a second because I know that's a heavy thing to talk about, and I wanted to make sure to give you an out if we didn't want to go there. That's all that's happening. If you can hear me right now, I only interrupted you because I love you, man, and I wanted to make sure that.
I can hear you. Sure.
Okay, okay,
Um,
all right, buddy.
no, it's gonna be hard to talk about, but I know there's people out there that need to hear it. So I'll do my best. Um, I thought I was okay to go back through treatment again. As you kind of heard, I've been through a lot of stuff by this point in life, so I was just, thank you guys. I thought I was good, and I went to start my first chemo treatment, and I had a complete meltdown, and I made them unhook me right after they started it. My dad was with me. He didn't understand what was going on because I went from gung-ho, everything's great, to unhook it. And I got unhooked, and I left, and I had a talk with my specialist, my cancer specialist, because I have several of them. And everybody wanted to know, of course, why did you not go through with your treatment? And my thing is I didn't want my daughter watching me go through it over and over. And I said, if this is just going to keep coming back, then I want to let it take me now while she's really young, so that she doesn't have to watch this when she gets older. So I signed off of all the chemo, and one of my specialists sat me down and explained something, and I'm explaining this because I want everybody to know that anybody can have a complete loss of bravery, complete loss of anything you want to call it, without any warning. And sometimes it just takes somebody saying a couple of sentences that somebody else just hadn't said yet. She says that if you can make it through this, whether it works or not, your next treatment will be some T-cell therapy, and that will not only get rid of your cancer, but it will give you an immunity for it. So those few sentences, as short as they were, changed everything for me. So I got signed back up, and I went ahead, and I did find out that the rush of everybody to get me started on chemo again had actually got me signed up for a chemo that was going to be way too rough for me, and it could have cost me my kidney transplant. So at the end of the day, it's probably a good thing that I had a meltdown. So, because I may have lost my kidney, and those are really hard to come by. Can't just go by the Walmart and pick one of those up, you know. Yeah, I don't know where to go from there, buddy. Sorry. That's
So you get the diagnosis. You have the reaction you had, which is completely understandable and just horrific to have to go through. And now you've talked to them, and they tell you that, hey, get through this, and now you'll be eligible for the T cell treatments, and that's a whole different way of looking at things. So now you've got some hope. Now you've got
Yeah.
there's this thought in the back of your head that your daughter isn't just going to be watching her father die over
Yeah, that changes everything.
and over again. So that little one, man, she's special, dude. She's something else.
I wasn't about to let her watch that,
Yeah.
Not over
So
and
I
over
get
and
it.
over and over.
I'm not a father, man, but that hits me. I feel you on that, bro. I feel you on that. So you make the decision. Okay, I'm all in. You do the ChadRevArt thing when you go all in, and you show up with no britches. You really do go all in. so, uh, so you go
Yes,
through the
sir.
treatment again. Are we talking another
Yep.
6 months of sleeping on the floor? Daughter's upset, wife's upset, everybody's worried, father's worried, friends are worried. We're right back doing this again, and take us to a happy place.
Take you to a happy place. Well, I'll take you to a worse place first. The
Yeah.
thing you were talking
Yeah.
about with my bones was for that treatment. The
Yeah.
medication out there, it's terrible stuff. Makes your bones swell. I did that 6 times. My whole entire skeleton swelled up for weeks, 6 times. So that was the other part of the question that you asked earlier. Yeah, like that was kind of the idea. So there was that. Man, I don't know what. I got
So
a little
you,
lost.
so yeah,
I read something here.
no worries at all, brother. No worries. And thank you for sharing your story with us, man. I knew a good deal of
Sure.
this, but
Oh, you said you wanted good news.
so no. Where I was going, what I meant by that was that you get the second diagnosis, you're going through it, you got 6 months on the floor again, your bones swell up so bad they scar you, but you come out the other side and you get a diagnosis that is clean.
I'm
And
clear.
I don't want to skip. I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, clear. I'm sorry about that. I don't want to
No, you're
skip
good.
over any important. I don't want to skip over any important parts in that journey, but ultimately you had to do it all over again, and that was no easy thing. And you came through the other side of it, and a year and 4 months ago, something like that. 2 months ago, a
Yeah,
month ago,
4 months.
um, a year and 4 months ago, you actually got your first clean bill of health for quite some
Yep,
time.
in
Now that
remission mode.
doesn't, now that does not take away the fact that he has to wake up every day with the understanding that he has a kidney that he had transplanted 20 years ago, 21 years ago. Happy birthday, kidney! It can drink now, and um,
Right.
and the fact that he's been through these cancer treatment and could face T cell treatments at some point. So I'm not trying to be a downer here. I'm just trying to paint a picture of this guy that most of you didn't know. Y'all have heard him talk about cancer, and y'all have heard him talk about some things that he's been through, but that doesn't really tell you the whole story about what that actually means and what it means to the people around you, what it means to the people that you care about, what it means at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're laying there by yourself and your daughter finally fell asleep and your wife finally fell asleep and you're trying to figure out how to make it through the next couple hours. That's the guy.
Yeah, that's the truth. I think he
Did the
froze.
thing. And now look what's behind him. Look look at the art behind him now. Look at the art behind him. If I'm still frozen, I'll just keep saying, look at the art behind him.
No, you're good
Look
now.
at it.
You're
You're
good
back.
now.
So um, we come out into the light a year and 4 months ago, and you started TikTok journey,
I
right?
did.
That's roughly around
I
the same
did.
time frame, kinda. And you now here we're gonna have a little fun. You struggled mightily on TikTok for about a year. And then Tiffany introduced you to me. No, I'm
Everything was
teasing, man.
fixed.
I'm teasing, man. I'm teasing. So, so we're gonna fast forward. You've recovered. You get your diagnosis. Well, not recovered, but you get your diagnosis of a clean bill of health. Um, you start building things back, and you get on this here ticker talkers, and
Ticket.
I happened to come on the ticker talkers around the October time frame, September, and right around that October time frame, if I'm not mistaken, is when we all kind of started doing our thing. And that's around the time that you approached me about potentially being a guy on your show. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. I'm a woodworker. I'm not the dude that goes out and sings to people and stuff. I just build stuff in a basement. Nobody gives a shit. you know. So,
I said,
um,
but they're gonna.
so he spent a considerable amount of time um, developing his show, other shows, and then helping develop my show. I became the guest on your show. You moved your time slot down and let me take over your time slot because you eventually convinced me to do a show. A lot of people don't know this, but one of the reasons I agreed to do the show was you said you would be the co host. Um, had you not been available to be the co-host, I wouldn't have done the show, bro. So, and
You're
the
welcome,
other
y'all.
cat, And the other caveat was painting at Tiffany's. Had she not agreed to help out from the beginning, I think she knows that I would have been a grand pecan, as they say, and would have been doing other things. So, um, after all of this journey, after all of this that he's been through, he meets this guy that's been hanging out in the basement for 11 years and maybe a little off, a little, you know, and I've had the privilege and the honor of getting to work with you very closely for the last 5 or 6 months. And I can tell you that I've worked with the best of the best, man. I've worked with some of the best people on this planet in their preferred professions, and I know that you know what I'm talking about. Both of you do. And those guys that flew around in those jets were the best of the best, bro. And I would put you up there with all of those dudes, man. The way you operate, the way you do your thing. I have a tremendous amount of respect for you.
Thank you.
I hope that I am able to articulate on some tiny level how important you've been to me, how good a friend you've been, how kind you've been, and how good of a business partner on a lot of levels you have been. Because you
Thank you.
bring humility, you bring a compassion that I hope to be able to do as well. Not to your level, of course, but I too am trying to work on being a better person and being more compassionate and being more thoughtful in the way that I move. And I hope that we're all on that journey. But I believe that I am a better person today for whatever that's worth because Patty and Tiffany and I are friends, and you and I are friends. Um, and I find it absolutely remarkable that you've been through as much as you've been through, and you're such a nice guy. You're one of the nicest people I've ever met, bro. You really are. And I've seen people sling mud at you. I've seen people treat you like shit. And I've seen how you responded to it. And you were kind and you try to reach out and build bridges. Honest with you, man, that's really difficult for me to do. I'm in a basement, dude. I could just hit block, whatever. You know what I mean? I got a pretty good thing going. So for
Yeah.
you to put yourself out there and to be there, and for Tiffany to do the same, for us to be able to develop the shows that we've developed, I think that your
Hmm.
reach, Chad, goes beyond. I know that your reach goes beyond TikTok. It goes beyond social media platforms. You have fans that you've had that are loyal to you from 20 years ago. People don't realize that. And it's funny because the people that try to poke with you with a stick on some platforms are going to run into the heavy metal fans that you've had for 20 years. And they're probably not going to like it. It's probably not going to go well for them. They better have their ducks in a row and they better have their shit
I
together
said it
because
might
those
not be
folks
as
ain't going to
nice.
play. No, and that's
It
the
probably won't be
that's
as
the other
nice as I
thing,
had.
guys. This dude would go out and rock the house for a couple hours and get people banging heads, and there's blood everywhere. And he'd go put his arm around the person that needed a little extra attention because they were having a bad day. And he's talked to me
Yeah,
about having to
absolutely.
change gears, about having to, he's preparing with the band before the show, trying to make sure that they're on point. Then they got to travel to get there. There they got to set up. They got to do their whole thing. There's all the dynamics of that. They put on the show, and he's trying to make sure to do all the right things and hit the marks and remember all the lyrics and play the right stuff. And he's got all this things going on. And at the whole during the whole thing, he's still compassionate. He's still left a track record
Hmm.
of helping people that folks don't know about. The benefits that he did, the monies that he's raised for other people, the time that he has spent writing to people, talking to people, giving of himself. Hello, Haley Beth. Um, it's just remarkable to me, man. And I hope that doing this interview and I hope that doing this show,
Thank you.
and we're gonna put it over on the tubes, and the folks at Theria will be able to pick it up whenever they want. But I'm just so glad that people got to see at least a glimpse of this side of you, and man, I'm great. I'm so grateful to you. I've become a part of a community on this platform that is showing up outside of the platform. And that's because of Tiffany and SA Artistries and ChadRevArt and Enigma and Cat Art and Goopy, and the list goes on and on and on. So Ash Paul. So
Mm-hmm.
man,
Ezra.
can you tell me?
So
Hey
many,
Petra,
so many.
can you tell me now? Normally what we do in these kind of things is then we show everybody art that people hadn't seen and stuff, but we're not going to do that. We can't really do that today. But what I would like you to do is give us your conversation here about the lady behind you. Um, I think your
Oh, sorry,
explanation of
you
that
cut out really
piece.
bad there.
I think that your explanation of that
This one?
piece would hit different ears now, potentially. Having some understanding
Yeah,
of what you've been through and some of the motivations behind it. Would you mind describing to us? I know you've done it a lot of times, but would you mind describing us that piece of art behind you?
sure. Well, let's see here. Zoom you guys in a little bit, maybe. Yeah, I'm just gonna take you off of here. Yeah. What do we say?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first off, she is a trunk of a scarlet oak tree. And as you may know, she came from just on the other side of this wall right here, about 10 feet off of that wall. And she was going to come through here either way. So I decided instead of letting her come through the roof, I would bring her through the door. So that's what we did. Um, it is kind of a statement for me in a number of things, honestly. It is my statement on how women have been treated since the dawn of time, to be honest. Uh, Up here, we start with everything beautiful, the face of everything. But what I'm doing back here, I'm really into veil work. And I don't know if you guys have looked too much at veil sculpting, but there is a whole other dimension behind veil sculpting, not only in the physical doing of it, but the meanings behind it throughout the centuries. And the veil in general has always been something to hide behind or put between. And a lot of veil work is over the face. And I chose this time, at least, to have the veil blowing back and coming off because it's time for that veil to be gone. Um, there's a tree that comes through the middle of everything, an actual, like, not the actual tree, but in my carving, part of it is a tree. And you'll see in the spires later that it will be coming through, and it'll be coming through here. And that tree is doing everything it can to claw and hook and scratch and mess everything up. So, as you can also see, I've chosen with the veil, instead of going one direction with the wrinkles and everything, they go in all directions. It goes this way, and then it comes back around this way, and then it comes this way, and then it's going to spin around this way. That's because there's a storm behind this lady. And she's coming out of this storm by coming out of this veil. And now I will move on to the lower part, which starts at the cleavage area. And I may or may not have chose this for a deeper meaning, or it may have been completely by accident. Doubtful. What we have inside, let me switch the lighting over. I did another, there we go. I did another carving inside of the carving. Hey, thank you, Kat. And what this is it's a little boy inside. He's wearing a hoodie, jeans. He's facing the other direction. And what he's going to have in his hand is a lantern. And I think that's a statement on the generational problem that we have. Because even a little boy with a lantern trying to find his way is damaging in and of itself. The inside of this piece will have a treatment called Sonshugi bone. It's an ancient... Oh, we lost Tiffany.
She'll be
Sorry,
back.
Tiffany. Okay. And we're going to do this... yeah. I'm going to do Sonshugi bone on the inside, which is a burning technique. It locks the wood in carbon. And I'm doing that because the whole inside is burnt out. And as you notice, from here down to fall apart, decay, rot, it's broken out by the tree, it's broken out by the limbs. And if you look, I started cobblestone, so it's a path that's been built before. It's not something that's brand new. It's something that is already had a path made, and that path has started to decay. So while I like to be kind of out there and crazy and loud and obnoxious, I really try to keep a higher vibration in this life. And I think that that is one of the things, one of the many things that has become a generational dawn of time kind of problem. And that does not excuse it by any means. And that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's deeply rooted like a tree. And the only way to fix this problem is to remove the veil in any manner, shape, or form. And know that there has been a storm, and it can be fixed with a brand new tree. Thanks for the ears. We just got to plant those seeds.
So powerful.
So,
Thank you, Chad.
so yeah, I hope to have her done within the next couple of months. I've been working pretty diligently. And if you guys would like to watch me work on her, please make sure you're got your notifications on for our Flow State broadcasts that we do.
Mrs. Tiffany, do you have any questions or any comments or any thoughts you would like to share at all?
I just to repeat what you said, everything he's been through, he's come out one of the most gentle people that I've ever met. He's got a big heart. The art is amazing, and I was in love with that piece before I knew what she meant. And watching her grow has been an honor. I really appreciate you bringing us along on your journey with her too. Yeah, with all of it. And everything you do to uplift everybody around you, and you put all of yourself into everything you do. We really appreciate you. And I'm glad that, I introduced you too, because I kind of like this too.
Yeah, she's the
Yes,
pedophilia.
thank you.
She's the matriarch of the family. We call her an essay boss. We call her an essay boss. I actually made up a boss sign for her an essay. So yeah, that brings me to
Yes,
painting
indeed.
at Tiffany's, y'all. I would like to remind everyone that none of this would have been possible without painting at Tiffany's. And she made the introduction. She's been with us since day one. Before we even knew what we were going to be doing, she told us we needed to get together and do some stuff. And damn
Yep,
it, we did.
I
And
was
here we
right.
are. Yes, you were right. You're right about a lot of things,
Yes,
Tiffany.
yes.
Yeah. That generally, if she's, I'm gonna go with she's right. Whatever we're
I
talking about,
appreciate
yeah, pretty much, Tiffany's right. I'm a dumbass, and Tiffany is right.
We
There
need to
you
tell
go.
more people that.
So yeah, she
You got
is.
somebody you can
She
talk to.
is. I see 79 Ohio in the chat, and I hope you got to see some of this show today, Nightmare. I hope you got to hear some of Chad's journey because Chad is still here with us, just like you're going to be. So um, keep rocking that
Keep them
thing,
up like
sister.
this,
Kick
girl.
That's
ass.
right. Keep them up.
She
Keep
is
them
kick
up.
ass.
Keep them up, Nightmare. Keep them up.
Lady Shine, thank
So,
you. I appreciate you.
yeah, man. Lady Shines. Yes, Lady Shines. So,
Oh,
so
she's
I'm
been
going to
over
do
here
a
chilling with
recap
me.
if it's cool. If it's all right, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap here on some other stuff. But first, Chad, I would like to give you and Tiffany both. This is a question for both of you. If I have forgotten anything or left anything important out, or if I've misrepresented or mischaracterized anything, please let's get that right. Let's get that corrected right now. So,
I think you did great. I mean, yeah, I was
did we
very
miss anything, Chad?
involved in the
Um,
story,
did I?
like absorbed into the story and just listening to him. And yeah, I think y'all both did good.
So I like to end with a quote, and you know, it's one of those things where we talked about everything he does. He does for his daughter, and that you know, um, but Chad, tell us about you. You have this saying about dark art and kind of doing your thing. You know what I'm referring to here. Are you with me at all?
Yeah. Um, I like to say that my art is dark art at its finest, or fine art at its darkest, and that's up to you to decide.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. And, you know, it really is. It really is up to us to decide. And the funny thing about it is, Chad, that we've talked about this many times, man. Like, some of the music that I listen to, you wouldn't expect Chad to like, but he does. And some of the things that Chad makes that are a little more dark artsy, you wouldn't necessarily expect me to like, but I do. And that's the beautiful thing about art, including music, including poetry, like Lady Shines does. It is,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's a really cool way to look at the world, man, and I absolutely love that. And I'll make sure it's okay with Chad. Um, Nelly Artistic Energy is in here, and we love some Nelly. If you get a chance to catch one of Nelly's lives, please do so. I wish I could catch her more often than I do. I barely get to pop in, but Nelly Artistic
Yes.
Energy said that we forgot to mention that Chad absolutely loves Jennifer Hudson, and that Eric, the
That's
airbrush
It's
artist,
true.
has in fact has in. Thank you, Lady
How
Shine.
could we
So,
forget?
So there is, yes. So for those of y'all that didn't know, after all that he's been through, he has gone on to date Jennifer Hudson, no less, which
Well,
is a remarkable feat in itself. It's pretty unbelievable.
she doesn't know
Um,
yet, but that's okay.
She'll be all right.
She'll be alright.
and Lady Shine points out that we all love what we love, and it can be many things, and that is absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Natasha says,
So
yes,
true.
there's no limits to art, and ain't no right, wrong way to do it. That's right, and that is
Mm-hmm.
Natasha's art right there behind me. So if there's
Yes.
anybody here, Eric the airbrush artist, we talked about his shirts and being able to order those from him. If there's anybody here that has questions, please start dropping them in any one of the three chats, and we will make sure we get them chat before he goes. Um, he's been in here for a couple hours now, so he's probably getting a little run down. So be gentle.
What is this? 20 questions? Oh wait.
So if there's anyone, we just wanted to give you a quick chance. If there's anyone that wanted to ask anything further, I think we were pretty thorough. I hope. And I would like to. What I would like to do is a wrap because this is what Chad would do. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to go back and we're going to revisit some of those shout outs and make sure because some of those people in here now that weren't in there before in here weren't able to be in here before.
Yes, cat.
So we're going to hit the theory of people here pretty quickly too. But Lady Shine, make sure you correct me on this time, Lady Shine. But tomorrow at 9:30 Mountain. I'm sorry, 7:30 Mountain, 7:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern is the show where she has paired up artists with poets, and that's happening tomorrow. Lady Shine has adopted me. I have the paperwork. There are witnesses. There's a notary involved, and all of that. And
Yeah.
she is actually doing a poem tomorrow about a bench that I built, which was a friend of mine brought me some old antique bench ends that she found. I restored those and then used some lumber that I had milled, oak lumber, to finish out the bench. And she has written a poem about that because it reminded her of her and her mother um, having conversations on a bench that was similar to that. Uh, so, Lady Shine, you can catch her tomorrow and all of her crew of poets. That's going to be an amazing thing. You saw Nell Artistic Energy in there. I believe it's Thursdays or every other Thursday that she does her show. So please check her out. Um, the folks from Theory of Poetry. On Monday, you have Inspiration with Theory, hosted by LP, the lyrical poet, and Emma, or Ima. I may pronounce that wrong. On Tuesday, you have The Fire Pit with Mike Carter. That show starts right now, I believe, over on Theory at 9 o'clock, which I end up missing it. But he does some interesting stuff. He does conversations about like toxic masculinity, cognitive dissonance, some things Chad is very aware of and has heard all about. Um, and then on Friday, you've got Italo, who is doing the Theory of Poetry show, which is amazing. And you find Lady Sean's poetry on that as well. And on Saturday, it's the top 10. Seb is the host, and he will do the top 10 on Theoria, which is amazing app. If you want to download it, it's free. They have a bunch of different style of artists on there, indie artists. It's really cool that their music's getting out there. There's some really good stuff on there. So please check them out. Um, Eric the Airbrush Artist has some T-shirts and pullovers and stuff for sale. The most beautiful model in the world is Tiffany right there. She's wearing one. Yes, yes. And you also have dead making art. It's so comfy. It's like wearing an Eric snuggle.
Yes.
Everyone comes with a snuggle from Eric. You've also got Dead Making Art out there. Please go to her site, check it out. We'd also like to thank Lars and Cat Art, Goopy Goop, Eric the Airbrush Artistry Radio, Seb, Italo Productions, which is Italo, Ambassador Hanson, Ash Pauls. Those are the moderators. Thank you, Mandy Jane, that keep things rolling for us and that pass through and help us out. Enigma is the question mark. Y'all, a lot of y'all know her as Sage. She's amazing. She's very helpful to us. Without those folks, we could not do this. So we really appreciate y'all. I know Chad appreciates you too. He's got a couple different ones in his mix. And Painting at Tiffany's is obviously a moderator. She's the boss. Without her, none of this would happen. So thanks to them. Wafty Llama, like to give Wafty a shout out. I love his work. I would also like to give Twisted Z. If y'all haven't checked out Twisted Z's work, please do so. Please make sure, no matter which one of these three chats you're in, you're all following each other because we are trying to build a community here, despite rumors. We are trying to look out for each other. We are trying to build a bigger community than is any of us because of that. as artists, all of our voice gets a little bit louder if we all kind of work together. So um, please give some love to those guys. Eve's Artistries, Bakken Arts. Chris Major does some amazing crocheting if you're not familiar with her. Um, and Chris Twilight Zone has some cool stuff going on. Pamela Walsh Arts is in the house. Natasha, the real
Love it.
Goopy Goop. Mandy Jane. And I know that we've missed a bunch of people, and forgive me. But
And
also, just a little jab at Chad Davino. The Word of God, no less, is we're doing a collaboration together now.
I'm
So
excited
I've
for
got the
that.
Word of God
have
on my
have
side
have, have I been serious long enough? Can I be TikTok chat again?
Yeah, I think so.
right
Touch
now.
base.
Wait. Before you do that, all three chats, would y'all please, pretty please, drop some hearts in the chat. Blue hearts for Chad. If you would, please drop some blue hearts in the chat. Our good friend Haley Beth came up with that. She drops blue hearts for ChadRevArt when she sees him. If y'all would, please drop some blue hearts in the chat. And anybody that's able to, please get a screenshot of it. We would like to use that. All three chats drop blue hearts for our dear friend ChadRevArt
Y'all are
because we love
awesome. I'm
him. We
blowing up over
appreciate
here.
we
Thank you
appreciate it.
guys. Much
Y'all,
love.
anyone in one of these three
Awesome.
chats, please get some screenshots of the blue hearts. Um, and
Wow,
that's amazing.
guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
My screen is full of blue hearts, man. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try to
mine
capture
too.
it, and if it kills the live, I'm
Wow.
sorry. Please get
Thank you
that. I'm
guys.
afraid if I try to capture
Wow.
it, that's awesome. Awesome. And that's Haley Beth's idea, y'all. Haley Beth,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
1012,
You guys
our
give love to
dear friend,
Haley
our
Beth, please.
favorite Diamond Dot artist. Haley Beth is the one that came up with that idea. So thank you, Haley Beth.
Thank
And
you.
That's
IU.
amazing. Thank you for the
Oh my
blue
gosh, you
hearts.
guys.
Please, someone drop me a note in the chat if anyone has a screenshot of that. Every time I try to do a screenshot, everything locks up for me. So
Thank you,
if
Nelly.
anyone is able to do that, thank you,
Gary.
Darla. Thank you, Darla.
Natasha.
Appreciate y'all.
You guys are
Appreciate
so
y'all very
awesome.
much. Okay, Chad. Ready, set, go, brother. Do your thing. Go back to TikTok, Chad,
Okay.
now.
Okay. Assholes, are you ready? Okay, we're good.
Yes, we are ready.
Had to make sure
We
they
are
knew I was
ready.
back.
Thank you, Lady Shines. Lady
Woo!
Shines has got us some screenshots. Thank you, Lady Shines. So,
Man, I love y'all.
TikTok Chad, what do you think about the interview today, TikTok Chad?
I think it went pretty well, except that dude
Hey,
was a
Mrs.
wuss.
Robinson.
Sorry,
Sorry
Johnny.
about that.
I'm sorry. I get to
Hey,
be
Mrs.
loud and
Robinson, good to
obnoxious with
see
you
you.
guys, so it's fun.
Thank you, Lady Shani. You can't talk about my friend like that,
So
Oh,
the
you
Port
guys
Authority
are awesome.
um, has spoken. The last thing I'd say is make sure you go to his page, and this is selfish too. I'll admit it. Go to
Hell
his page.
yeah.
He just this week has developed the T-shirt, new spring edition for Chad Rev Art. It's pretty cool. He also
Dropped it
put
today.
on there. Yes,
I
yes.
can't wait to
And
try
I
it.
dropped the link, and I'm about to try to do that again real quick, guys. So if I mess
Start
it
doing it
up,
again.
go on without me. Tell my wife I loved her.
I'm gonna try.
uh, but you can go here
There it is,
and you can
right
get
there.
the Chad Blood Moon T-shirt, and I'm gonna drop another link in here since that went so well. And if you want to visit that exact same site, you can also find yourself a Again Project T-shirt if you would like one.
Yeah.
He has put their Again Project T-shirts and stickers and mugs and whatever stuff available on
Hoodies,
the
all of
exclusively
it.
on the Chad Rev Art. The only place you can get Again Project stuff right now is on the Chad Rev Art site. We will put a link on my website. Coming soon is going to be a section on my website that will contain TikTok artists and links to their work, including Painting at Tiffany's new ventures and Chad Rev Art. There will be a link to Eric the Airbrush Artist. There will be a link. Any artist on here that works with us that would like a link on that website, I will get it on there for you. That's something that is coming. Cat art. We've mentioned your names a bunch of times today. We really appreciate you being a moderator for us. We hope you're feeling to get better
Yes.
today. We love you, Cat Art. Thank you for doing what you do for us.
Boop.
And Cat Art was going through some stuff on her own, yet she kept showing up, checking on things. Man, it's amazing.
Checking on us.
LP's on the scene. Y'all, LP is in the chat on my side right now. So if you happen to come across LP, that's LP, the lyrical poet that I was telling y'all earlier, that has the inspirational show on Monday nights. LP and his wife, Emma, I hope I'm saying that right. Emma. Um, they are on Mondays, and if you're looking for some inspiration, some spirituality, you can find it there with those folks. Really nice people, proud to be associated with them. And like we said, right now going on is Mike's show, the Fire Pit. So make sure you go over there and support those Theory of folks. Ema, okay, it's pronounced Ema. Okay, we got it. Ema, I got that now. So Ema
Ema.
has a great sense of humor. She's an amazing lady. Go over there and check her out.
Excuse me.
Flash Gordon. Oh, yes. Flash Gordon, our dear friend. Him and Petrol were on the show a few weeks ago. They're putting together uh, 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 um, a website and some other things that are related to autism and how to help that community. Not just people with autism, but their families and their friends and their communities. He's got some amazing ideas. I was fortunate enough to get to speak to Flash for quite a while. He's an amazing human being that is putting himself out there to help other people. It's a very selfless thing that he's doing. He is putting a lot of effort in for the sake of other folks. So please follow Flash Gordon and look. And I promise you, Flash, like I told you, man, I actually sent Flash a little message a few days ago just to stay in touch with him because I want to make sure that when he has that website ready, and I are repping it on our shows, and we will do that. We promise you, we will do that, man. Um, Lady Shine tomorrow. You can catch Lady Shine and her crew doing poetry. She was gracious enough to pick me up as her partner. She is writing a poem about a bench that I built from some antique bench ends. And there are a lot of other poets going to be on there that have been teamed up with artists, and I'm looking forward to that. So please go support her. Uh, and I would like to just give one more shout out before we go to Amy Lee and Sammy B and Faye Ray Art and Bruton. We love you. We appreciate you. And we
Big
see you.
love.
Keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Proud to
Thank
be
you
associated
all
with you.
so much. Thank you.
Unapologetically you, please.
Always.
Thank you, Flash. Thank
Larson?
you. Yes.
Larson? You too,
Lar-
buddy.
Yep.
John Larson. Thank you for mentioning that. John Larson has a
Ask him every
line
morning.
of fish products. He has a line of fishing stuff coming out. He is such a generous guy. He always has people in his lives. He's always showing
He's
other
also
people's
got merch.
art. He's always repping other people. And he's
He's
got
got merch
merch.
as well.
So Eric the Airbrush Artist, Dead Making Art, and John Larson are the three we wanted to highlight this week. They've got merch. You can go get it right now this second. If you want to support autism and all things autism, please get in touch with Flash Gordon. Yeah, John Larson has wood. He sure does. Chad, is there
That's not
anything
fair.
we hit on since we got the TikTok chat out? Is there anything you'd like to hit on? Anybody you'd like to shout out? Any shows that are coming on that we haven't mentioned? Um,
My show comes up Thursday at 6.
you got a show?
I,
Wait, what?
Central.
You got a show?
Last time I think I do. I think. I also do Sundays. I try to do Sundays, and I try to stay all like
I don't see it on here.
meditation, therapeutic.
Sunday show is really good.
Yeah, my
Yes,
Sunday
catch
show
him
is usually
Sundays.
from my barn, weather permitting. Yeah, weather permitting, it's usually from my barn and
We
it's
hang out
really
with some
chill.
baling wire, and we sway
Yeah,
like
I
this.
literally
you
use
can
baling wire
usually
for my phone. My goats chill.
Yep.
you can usually catch him with Gary, whose birthday is Valentine's Day. He turned 4. Congratulations to Gary. That's my anniversary too. So got some stuff going with Gary there. Um,
That's my
I
boy.
just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? I ran into a new artist here within the last month or so, and I keep meaning to shout him out, and I have not done it. His name is Matty, Matty, Pace,
Yep.
Pace. He is a free flow MC, and he is so positive that he almost makes Gen cast a shadow. Almost, not quite.
I saw him today.
And he is so awesome. I
I've seen him
love this
before. I
dude's
saw him today.
lives. I love his lives. Yes, Matty Pace. You guys go check out. If you haven't seen Matty Pace, go check that dude out.
Dude's positive. Yes.
Awesome guy.
Dude's positive.
Awesome guy. So go check that guy out. And yeah, go check out my merch, guys. Like nobody ever goes there, but I never say anything about it. I actually have like a dozen different designs over there. And I just dropped one today, so go check it out. There's my plug for my merch, t-shirts, coffee mugs. You can have coffee with us, drinking out of a ChadRevArt mug. Hoodies. I'm not going to say that on your show. If it had been my show, I would have said it.
You could even get a Gen Project mug to toast against the ChadRevArt
can.
mug
I
You
was gonna
can.
say,
if you wanted
but
to.
can I get one with both of you on it? Like both.
We can arrange for that.
He's
to
working
happen.
on that. He's working on that.
ChadRevArt.com
Collaboration.
and hit the merch button is where you can find it. I'll put the link in here again for the
That's
new
awesome.
shirt real quick before we go.
Okay.
And if you guys don't have the link, just go to ChadRevArt.com. Pretty easy to remember. And there's a merch button. Click.
Gotcha.
And there's
That's
probably
awesome.
like a
Thank you so
dozen
much
different
again.
designs.
And there's a sale going
Yes,
on
Crimson,
now, if
we're
I'm
gonna
not
have to set that
mistaken.
up. Yeah, $16 t-shirts. And the brand new one that I just dropped is dope. Ain't lying.
It's cool.
Burnt Diva.
It's cool.
I'm sorry I haven't sent you that picture yet. I got sidetracked with about 5 trillion things.
Burnt Diva is another amazing human being on this platform.
Yep.
Love some Burnt Diva.
Yes.
Yep.
In
Love,
fact.
I'm shaking my head no, but I love some Burnt Diva. I wasn't there. I don't know anything about it, but she's great.
What do you
So,
Yeah.
Tiffany, do you have anybody that you'd like to shout out? I know there's a million of them. We're not, but
Oh, yeah,
anybody
we share
related
a
to
lot of the
kind
same
of,
people,
what's
but
been
I've
going on?
got Twisted Z and Winteria, Nightmare, everything.
Winteria.
Winteria is amazing. Like, yeah, that's one of my new favorite people. She's just wonderful soul. Nightmare, like
Yes.
right now she's kind of a focus of mine for various reasons.
When is that happening again, or is that happening
Thursday,
again when we get
But
to
I'm
there?
not sure yet
Okay.
if we're gonna be live or not. So I will make sure to let everybody know.
Okay.
I mean, like if I'm on here Thursday morning, that's what's going on. If not, then I'm probably just gonna be on the phone with her for part of it. So it depends on how she's feeling from week to week. So
Got you.
everybody,
Got you.
check out.
What else you got, Tiffany? Anything?
You
Anything?
said Twisted Z Art and Winteria. Yeah, you've listed pretty much every, and Sammy B. I think we mentioned her as well. She's
Sammy
so
B,
much fun.
definitely Sammy B.
Wonderful music.
The real Goopy
You know
Goop.
Media
Sammy
artist.
B.
The real Goopy Goop. He's amazing as well. BLT Carver. Like, we've got a bunch of amazing.
Yes.
BLT.
Yes.
Yes. And Haley Beth,
Yes.
the creator of the Blue Heart.
Yes. Mine are pink, just so you know. I get pink hearts.
Ashman,
Mine,
yeah.
mine are purple.
Yep.
Ashman,
Ashman needs a
definitely.
shout out.
There's so many, it's
Yeah.
hard to.
We've
Yeah,
got so
Ashman.
many.
Oh,
Like, there's
Bakken.
I know,
way
dude.
we're gonna list- Yeah, we can't list everybody.
Bob, not so
Armando, and
Ross.
there's JoJo, and there's so many.
Rick
Bob,
the
not so Ross. Yes.
Muse.
Painting the
Mondo,
Fizz.
yes.
Paint the
Easy.
Fizz.
Um,
Yep.
yes. Yeah,
I've met a
Passion
couple
for
new people
Drawing.
today.
One of my
I
heroes.
met Nathan, and I don't remember who the other person I met today was. Oh, I also met a lady that lives nearby me. Her name is Taylor Jakeway, and she's a surrealism artist, and mind blowing art. She's amazing. And she only
Right
lives like an
on.
hour
Can-do
from me,
artist,
so I
that's
might
right.
have an art friend nearby.
The can-do
Toasted.
artist
Pamela
is another.
Walsh.
The can-do artist,
Yes,
Pamela
can
Walsh.
do for sure.
Santiago.
Siren.
Santiago, Dusty Graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tim Cook.
Like we could just keep
Tim McCoy. Sorry,
naming
Tim McCoy.
people. Tim McCoy.
Tim McCoy.
Yep.
Our buddies that fish. Rattle off some of our fishing buddies, Tiffany.
Oh, we've got Lake Erie Luca, who
Lake
has
Era,
or
Lake
makes
Lake
weights and
Lu-
lures. Lake Erie Luca. There's Wild Weights. He makes these really
Yes.
cool neon weights that are for fishing and stuff. I've Siren Song Lures. She paints very like baits that are almost too pretty to put in the water, but they are so durable and just gorgeous.
They're amazing.
Realistic.
Amazing.
She's an amazing artist, and she's going to be doing some other painting and stuff too. That's Siren Song Lures. Who else do we have for the fishing people? Yeah, we've got Red Lawless Baits. Also makes. Well, I've got a lot of fishing friends. And John Larson, like you said, also fishes. And then his line of merch that I saw was for his Crank It Up baits. So.
Right on.
And they
Yeah,
were cool.
yeah.
he came
Michael
up with
Outlaw.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Outlaw is making drums.
Wow.
Johnny Ray points out that Ash and Bakken have a show at 8 p.m. Central where they have artists and humor on. I'm assuming
Every
that's
night or
daily.
how often?
I'm not sure. Johnny Ray, can
No.
you? Oh, I'm sorry. Sunday through Friday. She has it here already. She was ready for us. So Ash and Bakken have a show at 8 p.m. Central where they have artists on and they are funny. And that's Sunday through Friday. And I know Ashman does a show uh, that's really cool. Is it with Bakken? I'm trying to remember. Look, DJ Willison, another amazing artist who's just this joy that just spreads smiles and love through TikTok. So there's so many. I know we've missed some. Nelly and
Oh, I
Lady
know we have.
Shines and
Our
Davino
community has
and
grown so
Devlin
much.
313.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so at any
Our
rate,
community's
if
growing
we
every
didn't
day.
mention you,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
It's growing every day, so there's no way to keep track of you all, but we love you all. Or list you all
Yes.
off, but we do love you all.
Yes,
True
yes,
story.
and we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying to get those shout outs out there. Toasted is another one that
Mm-hmm.
does some really cool stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, we do LP. It's cool. It's a cool thing though. Hugs, huge community. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Johnny Ray. Johnny Ray is another amazing artist that's
Yeah.
in here
Johnny
repping
Ray.
other artists. There you go. I skipped over Johnny Ray because Johnny Ray is actually in here repping somebody else because that's how Johnny Ray rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank y'all for this community. Thank y'all for tuning in today. Chad Rev Art is a special soul among us guys, and I'm not just saying that because we work together. Um, Chad is. I hope the story we've shown you today is that for as much as this guy been through, he doesn't complain. Doesn't. He doesn't put hatred out to other people. He doesn't badmouth other people. He doesn't do any kind of ugly stuff like that. And you would think that a dude that's been through as much as he would have a little bitterness in him.
It's easy to,
But
yeah.
there,
Allow that to happen.
I know there's folks that would like it to be, but it's just not.
It's not.
It's just not. It's just not the man that he is. You missed the
He's got a
mark.
big heart,
You really
a
did.
pure heart. Yep.
And I'll be riding with you from here on out, brother. So no matter what happens, high water, deep water, shallow water, no water, uh,
Deep shit.
I'll be there with you, brother. I'll have you six, no matter what, regardless, come what may. And I'm pretty sure you know that to be true at this point.
Yes, sir.
And same for you, painting at Tiffany. Regardless, no matter what, I'll
Appreciate
always
you
have your
guys.
six. So
Thank you.
thank y'all. Love on each other in the
Yes,
chat.
Lady
Nightmare, we
Shine.
love
Thank
you.
you. Lady Shine
Nightmare,
said
you
I've been
keep
adopted
swinging.
too.
Hmm.
Yes, 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 he has. Nightmare, give Richard our love. Call him Robert just to fuck with him a little bit.
Ooh, Brendan laughed. Oh, well, thank you.
Look at that. Look at that.
Thank you,
So
Tristan.
thanks, everybody.
Good night,
Thank y'all
everybody.
for coming in. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for doing
Love you
this, for
too,
being the
Nightmare.
co-host.
Thank you
We're gonna do
guys.
some more stuff like this where Tiffany's our co-host. Sometimes, well, I say that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a phone call right after this that Tiffany is now the co-host of the chat. And on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, you'll be able to catch the Painting at Tiffany show. Thank you, Nightmare.
Not yet.
So
Not yet.
please turn on your notifications for Painting at Tiffany because you never know when she's going to be on.
Yeah.
Please turn
He
on your
varies a lot.
notifications for ChadRevArt because you never know when that dude might be on other than Thursday nights
Hmm.
and Sunday nights. Him and I do a Sunday night every Sunday night, late night, where we do a flow state. I also usually do a Saturday morning with SA Artistry, so you could catch me and SA there. You can catch Chad on Sundays. Sometimes I crash the party, but sometimes you can just catch Chad by himself doing his flow state on Sundays if you wanted to catch him without me around causing trouble. And but sometimes I show up, so you never know. But and please turn your notifications for me because I too come on in the middle of the night sometimes and don't give a lot of announcement. But we have some amazing people that come through our flow states and hang out with us. There's music.
Yes.
We usually chat. There's
Great
folks that drop
conversation.
dad jokes
Yes.
and talk about everything from serious things to not so serious things.
Hmm.
Anybody that has questions, if one of us is not in the flow state and the other one is kind of watching the chat, we try to answer those questions and be interactive.
Hmm.
But sometimes we're just working and we're not interactive, so just be aware of that.
Hey,
Any more
Johnny,
announcements? I think I
Ray.
covered it. My brain's about
Yeah,
to
I think we're
melt.
I
good.
got, I got a quick announcement. Hey, Johnny Ray.
Yes, sir.
I'm not surprised. That's been going around. It's a very small group of people who don't have very much direction for themselves. So, thank you for loving and understanding.
Thank you, Johnny.
I'm sure
We'll
if you
keep trying
talk
to
to
love
other
on them.
folks,
Um,
you're not the only one. Just love
yeah.
on them. That's all you can do.
Hmm. We love
There's
them
that's
from a
been going
distance
on.
too.
I didn't even see the chat, but I can tell you what it's about, and that's been going on for me and Chad for a couple months. That's
Hmm.
and it's the same group of people.
Cat art
So
tells me. Yeah.
Yep.
it is what it is, and
Small
you know,
group of small
uh,
individuals.
Yep.
yep,
There's
yep,
talk and there's
and
walk.
yep. And here's what I'll say. Here's the last thing that I'll say, and this is directly related to that fucking subject. Um, hold me accountable. That's the offer that I make you. Hold me accountable. Look at
Yes.
how I treat people. Look at my actions. Go back and look at my hashtags and see how often I rep other people in my hashtags.
Hmm.
Look at the posts on my page and see how many of them are about other artists relative to how many are actually about my work. How many times have I mentioned my work in this show? So,
Just
same
stuff other
applies to
people are
chat.
Much
telling you
love, guys.
to.
There's other people that have been
So,
approached. You guys are all so freaking awesome
yeah,
for being here. I love you all.
yes, and we
We
know
love you
that,
too.
and we understand that,
Told the person you know
and we
better.
don't respond. And
I know some
so,
too.
if you've heard me bad mouthing somebody for the last couple months, please raise your hand and come forward and to let everybody know. Um, if you've heard people
Just
bad
me. You
mouthing
only
us for the
badmouth me.
if you've heard people bad mouthing us for the last couple months, then ask yourself that same question.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
So,
there's several
um,
people been approached that are
it
here with
it
their love, and we love them. We love you
Yep.
guys.
yes,
Because
and
your
it's
actions
Cooper,
easy.
speak
It's
Johnny
much
very
louder
Ray,
than
easy to
their
everybody
badmouth
words.
else.
folks.
Your
It's
actions
very
speak
easy to
louder than
badmouth
their
folks
words.
Uh,
when they don't call you names
which one
back.
USC
And
Natasha?
the funny
This
thing
one?
is that makes some folks even madder.
Chad, that's cool.
Not responding
Chad, that's cool.
makes
Yeah.
people even madder.
She wanted to see my cicada. Natasha
And
was asking.
That's right.
And sometimes, Chad,
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
just simply coming to the conclusion that you don't necessarily vibe with someone, so you don't necessarily want to work
That's
with them
okay.
all the time,
Mhm.
is somehow an assault on somebody's character. Is somehow defamation. Is somehow scandalous.
Oh, I
Simply
know.
coming to the
I know.
decision that hey, that we don't work well together, and I wish you all the
And
best,
I
but
don't see what's
I
wrong
ain't trying
with
to.
that.
I ain't trying to do that.
Yeah.
I don't either, and that's the way I'm going to keep approaching it.
Mhm.
If I'm working with you and I decide that I don't want to work with you, I'm not going to fucking work with you, and I don't owe you any.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
So uh, for whoever that's for, enjoy it. Do what you want with it. Because I'm gonna be riding with this dude
Mm-hmm.
regardless. So it is what it is.
Lady Sharon says that entire part. Yes.
That entire
so so
part.
so thank y'all so much, and it's for my part, it's okay. I got Chad, I got Tiffany, I got all these amazing moderators and all these amazing folks in this community, and I can tell you that not a single person that ever made an accusation against me ever made it to my face. Not one of them ever contacted me, not once. Never bothered to even ask. So to
And I
those of
trade
you that did,
I trade
I
one of you.
appreciate it. To those of you that didn't, good
Yep.
riddance.
Yep.
And I wouldn't trade one of you for a whole slew of those fools. I love all y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us.
So
Thank you for being smart and being kind and being positive. Love.
yeah,
We appreciate all
that
of you.
pisses people off. So keep doing it.
Yep.
It's
Keep
love.
doing
That's what they don't like.
Keep doing it.
it. That's what they don't
You're too
like. Keep doing
nice.
it.
You're too kind. You're too positive.
So, also, by the way, support other artists. I just like to point out that one I paid for, that one I paid for, that one I paid for. There's some other ones that I paid for. So yes, there were some things that were sent to us that are very kind and very nice. But we do everything we can to support those other artists. So please do
Mm-hmm.
so if you're able to. Buy their shirts, go buy their merch, go buy whatever it is that they're doing. And some of these I was able to get, like this one from Eve's Artistry. I just entered a raffle. This one over here was given to me by Braveheart, another person we didn't mention we should have,
Oh, Braveheart's
because it's got a
amazing.
Oh
picture.
yeah,
Braveheart's
absolutely.
incredible.
You're right.
So
Can't
Braveheart
forget about
actually sent
Braveheart.
this to
Like,
me. Here's the artist community we have. Braveheart had a friend that he lost, and he sent me a message saying that he sent this image to me, this painting that Essay did, because he knew Chad and I were friends, and he wished that he still had something like that from his friend that had passed
oh,
away.
I didn't know that
That's
was why
I've
he
never
sent
told that.
it
I've
to
never
you.
said that. That's why I
I don't
had
Oh,
know that
that's
this,
either.
because
beautiful.
Braveheart's one hell of a nice man.
He's an
Because
amazing
there
human.
was a
Giant
connection, and he
heart.
sent it to me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we've
That's
been teasing
beautiful.
with Chad all this time, saying, "Hey, this is actually me right there," which it is. But I always go, "Hey, look, I'm in the image. I'm in the image," and oh yeah, Chad's in there too. And Braveheart gets to laugh because he knows the love that was behind that.
That's
So
I didn't
all
know
beautiful. I
that
things
love
aren't
Braveheart.
that.
necessarily what they see.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's beautiful.
here's an example before we go of some humor. We used to do a show. The Gin Project show was followed by the ChadRevArt show, and my zipper broke between the shows. The good people of TikTok were letting me know because they were friendly and they were embarrassed for me. But
Oh, I
Natasha
didn't see
made
you had
art.
pants on there. Oh,
And
that's so
then
great.
It was so epic.
Santiago sent this piece, and he's got one for Chad too. So the way it's hanging on my wall is like this. So it's actually a joke poking fun at myself. Flies down
That is so badass.
again. And then there's Chad Rev Art right there. Show that one, Chad. Yes, dude, that's dope.
Yeah, I love it. Santiago is an amazing artist too.
Yes.
Just
I'm going to
Postcards for
frame it, but I
positivity,
wanted to keep
y'all.
it here.
mm-hmm.
Crimson Rose. Postcards for positivity.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
That's her artwork, her original artwork.
Mm-hmm.
She turns it into postcards and some little stickers, and sends them to folks. This one's one of my favorites. For the love of art, it says on the back.
She sent me one of those care packages as well. Thank you so much,
That's
Crimson.
awesome.
Two kissing fish. It says you're loved on the back, and it came on a day where I could use that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, mine
I
definitely
love
did.
how that works out.
All right, Johnny Ray, you go bug Bakken and Ash, and you tell them both that the Ginnon,
We love 'em.
and Tiffany, big love.
We do.
100%. Ash makes some amazing little guys. It's so cool. I love his artwork and his sense of humor.
Yes.
So, DJ Willis, and another person I didn't mention that I really like is the Dizzy Hippie. Chris Major's another one that does crocheting. So, anyway, there's a bunch of them that we forgot. We try to support other artists.
More people too.
Do it real quick. Do it.
All I can think of is like Monsters and Monsteras, and then
Yes.
Yes!
Like, Monsters and Monsteras is amazing, and the little creatures she
Yes!
makes. That somebody asked if she was painting with moss because it looked so realistic.
Yeah, her moss babies and the
Yeah.
moss creature.
The
Oh,
little
she's excellent.
mosslings
I
and
love her work.
They're like foresty creatures made out of wood and moss and stuff, but she paints in oil, I believe, and just
Yeah.
mind
She's
blowing.
It's
amazing.
carved. DJ,
Amazing.
that piece behind him is carved. It's not burned. It's there's no burning in it yet. It will
Not
be.
burned yet.
That's coming.
There will be some.
It's coming. DJ Wilson is another amazing soul here. So thank y'all so much. We really appreciate everybody coming in. We appreciate so much support. If we didn't shout you out, we're gonna get to you next time.
For sure.
The Dizzy Hippie. Check out the Dizzy Hippie. I'm hoping I can get a hat. I'm saving my pennies. I'd like to get one of those burnt hats that she does. She's a really cool person out there doing her thing. So, here's what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to download this episode, and I'm going to load this episode with the others on the TikTokers. And every one of you have my on the YouTube. And every one of you have my permission if you would like to go over to my YouTube page and cut out a segment that has you being shouted out or highlighted or talked about or any of that. Go ahead and snatch that out and use it for content. You are absolutely welcome to do that. It's in part why we want to shout you out. So if you've heard us talking about you today, you can go over. Give me a day or so. Give me till tonight to get that done. But I will get this episode immediately up, and you will be able to go over there, and you can literally, it's open. You can download the whole show if you want to, and then you could cut it up, do whatever you want. So yes, I do realize we are putting ourselves at risk for people to do hateful things, but it doesn't matter. The people that are going to do cool things will do the more cool things than the hateful people. So
And that's what we want
ain't
to
even
see.
worried about it.
Thank you, Poison
Yes.
Baby. Thank you,
So
everybody.
feel free to go over, it's the same thing. It's the Gin Project on the YouTubers, and you will be able to find this entire episode. And someday in the future, you will be able to get the edited version on Theory Radio on Wednesday nights. And thank everybody so much. Really appreciate you. And the lift that this community gives me every day keeps me going. So I appreciate it. Tiffany, anything?
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you.
Man of the hours, ChadRevArt, anything, sir?
Thank you, guys. Join us tonight. We'll be making some sawdust.
Thank you for your humility and for your grace, Chad. Thank you, brother. And yes, we'll probably be on there late tonight doing the shop stuff. I might do a little wood bending or some sanding or something simple tonight because my brain is smoked at this point. So, Natasha, that's you right there. Thank you, Natasha. Much love to you. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to shut it down now. Thank you to Painting at Tiffany's. Thank you to ChadRevArt, my brother. I love you. Painting at Tiffany's, my sister. I love you. Thank you all so much for riding with us. And thank everybody in the chat. If I miss you, Wolfie, Enigma, all you folks, you know we love you. Please check us out late night tonight. We'll be doing our flow state. It'll probably be 11, 12, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. Appreciate everybody. Treat each other with love. Don't let the haters change the way you do things. Keep doing your thing. That's what makes you so special. It's the way you do your thing. So keep doing it. Don't sweat the bullshit. Much love, y'all.